What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Thursday, October 9, 2024. Call it comfort food if you want, but I want to walk into this season opener between the All-Canadian opener of the Calgary Flames and the Vancouver Canucks and see what these two teams have. We know what Calgary is going to have to do this year, correct? Over the next 2-3 years, alongside GM Craig Conroy, this is a team that's building toward the future, but with all the draft picks and everything that they've stockpiled, you think that future is going to look pretty bright. Now, I don't know how much of the pregame ceremony that I'm going to be carrying, but I will give you the entire play-by-play of the whole game, as we'll take you all the way through and hopefully sports guide and get it all written up. Tomorrow, I will have an emergency cast with the Tigers and Guardians, as the Tigers have a chance to close it out at Comerica Park and head to the ALCS. But the Vancouver Canucks came out with a full drum line here as they introduced their players on Sportsnet. Now, for today, with all the stuff that's carried on Sportsnet, I do not have the luxury of being able to choose feeds. I still don't know who the new play-by-play man for the Calgary Flames is going to be, but when we do cover them at some point, again, we'll be able to see that because Rick Ball has moved to the Chicago Blackhawks. So let me give you the starting lineups nonetheless for what I do know. And again, this is courtesy of CBS Sports as always. Nazem Kadri, Samuel Honzik, Andrei Kuzmenko, MacKenzie, Weegar, Daniel Miramonov. Michael Backlund, Connor Zary, Blake Coleman, Kevin Ball, and Rasmus Andersson. Marty Pospisil, Jonathan Huberdeau, Anthony Mantha, Kevin Rooney, Ryan Lundberg, Adam Klapka, Jake Bean, Braden Pahal, and Dan Vladar will be in net today. Dustin Wolf is going to be in the full tenure with this team. He's going to get starts. He's just not going to get it today. They're going to go with the veteran Dan Vladar, 27-year-old, as head coached by Ryan Huska. And for Rick Tockett's squad are the Vancouver Canucks. It's JT Miller, Danton Heinen, Brock Besser, Quinn Hughes, and Philip Hronik. Elias Pettersson, Jake DeBrusk, Daniel Sprong, Carson Soucy, Tyler Myers. Pierce Suter is injured, so it's going to bring Teddy Bluger in the third line with Nils Höglander and Connor Garland, Atu Ratti, Neil Zaman, and Kiefer Sherwood with Derek Forbert and Vincent Desharnais. Arthur Shelovs will be the goaltender of record today. So as we go through the Flames roster, again, Ryan Lundberg is now a Flame once again as he goes back to the Cats, now to the Flames. Adam Klapka joins. Samuel Honzig's a great story, and I'm going to double-check the age here on Samuel because the youngster makes the team right out of training camp, and he gets an opportunity to do some damage, so that's always good to see that. Dustin Wolf, again, he's been touted as the goaltender of the future for a long time. So we will continue to see and monitor his progress as the season goes forward because we know that he'll get some starts. For the Vancouver Canucks, they moved a lot of pieces in. They moved a lot of pieces out. The core of the team remains the same. They brought in Daniel Sprong, the former member of the Seattle Kraken and the Red Wings, who I liked a lot. He's going to be on the second line. Boston Bruins' Jake DeBrusk. He now joins back in the Canadian team with the Canucks. Kiefer Sherwood from the Nashville Predators joins in as Dakota Joshua and Puser still nursing injuries. They bring in Vincent Desharnais from Edmonton, and Shelovs will continue to maybe get the bulk of the work. They did bring in Kevin Lincoln in from the Preds as well, but maybe Shelovs gets the bulk of the work in the net as Thatcher Demko continues to nurse injuries as well. Now, they don't know the extent of how long Thatcher Demko is going to be out. So that'll be something that all hockey fans will be watching because when he is in the crease, that makes the Vancouver Canucks that much more of a dangerous team when they already made the second round of the postseason and they pushed the Edmonton Oilers. You're going to make an argument that they should have won that series. So that's how good Vancouver is. So you got two teams on different ends of the spectrum, but I do think there's hope on both sides. And I'm really looking forward to getting this one going. I'll check back in with you in a few minutes. Once all the introductions are done, we get closer to the anthem. We'll take this one across and take you all the way through. I'm looking forward to it. Talk to you in a bit. I didn't know if I was going to get Cooper in here, but if he's going to be in here or join in for a little bit, we'll get that in. I know I took just a second away as we were getting through the player introductions. We broke everything down. I can't believe I'm seeing this man in this space, but we're doing this once again. It's the start of the NHL season with the Flames and the Canucks.
Did you think, John, did you think I would miss the Flames over you, sir? If you did, then my feelings are hurt, but I know you didn't. I knew that deep down in your heart and in your mind, you knew that we would be shoulder to shoulder, so to speak, back on another space for another hockey season. Hello, my friend. How the heck are you?
I'm doing great. There's a lot to talk about. That also makes me very excited for the intermission if you get to stick around, because we can kind of finalize everything as well. In the next month, we are getting close.
It's true. We got big news for ourselves, for our partnership as casters, as hockey fans, and as pals in the real world.
Yes, sir.
Lots going on tonight. Lots to talk about. And boy, I never get tired, John, as I see those boys in red, white, and gold. The Calgary Flames take the ice in Vancouver. I never get tired of those classic jerseys.
I know I broke down a little bit as you were just joining in, but can you please tell me some good words about Samuel Hanzik? Because he made the team right out of camp.
You know what? He made everybody's job hard in the best way. And you're thinking, well, what does he mean? What does he mean by that? He basically played his way onto this team. I think that a lot of folks, including the Calgary fans, were expecting a different outcome with that roster spot, and he was just too good to deny. A lot of people were thinking about sending him back down to the Wranglers, but he could not be denied. I'm going to take a pause right here. The Vancouver Canucks are honoring Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew, which will be ongoing throughout the season. Of course, Calgary Flames great, who we lost this summer.
As a friend, teammate, husband, father, and brother. Together, Johnny and Matthew shared a deep devotion to our game and to each other, as theirs was an inseparable bond as brothers, friends, and teammates.
And for folks joining in, just wanted to let everybody know once again that the Canucks are currently honoring Matthew and Johnny Gaudreau, whose lives were lost this summer. A wonderful tribute is ongoing right now in BC, and there are the classic images of Matthew and Johnny Gaudreau up on the big board. Wonderful gesture, of course, 9 seasons in Calgary. Johnny Gaudreau, who really cemented his legacy there, and of course his career and life cut far too short. Just the 2 seasons in Columbus, and a wonderful tribute right there for those brothers who were gone too soon.
Absolutely, Cooper. I'm very glad that Vancouver did this. Honestly, it's really tough to even say there'd be a dry eye in the house. That was classy and very well done.
You know, and John, it just shows the kind of reverence that I think, hey, rivalries are fun. Having a little intensity between teams is needed to keep the game exciting. But there's a real respect, I think, between players and fans, and that kind of recognition is so important.
Yeah.
And as a Flames fan and a Johnny Gaudreau fan, I really am happy to see it. And out of tragedy, I think people have bonded over those 2 young men.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, there is no easy transitions in anything else, but you're right. I mean, I think you said it best as well, and for good reason. We're going to be seeing this a lot throughout the NHL season, and I think we're also going to have, at some point, Cooper and I, at least one of them, hopefully on the Flame side in December. Early December will be when the Flames will be on home ice with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I think Cooper and I will be on the call for that on a Tuesday night. We'll have to make sure we get that into our schedule.
Yeah, no question, and a great reminder right here is now we see the first anthem of the season, of course, between these 2 Canadian teams. Just the one anthem needed tonight, but it will be a very special evening when the Blue Jackets and the Flames meet. And like you said, John, there were, I'm sure, a few tears shed just a moment ago, and I bet there will be many, many more on that evening between those 2 franchises.
Yeah, there is a lot to look forward to in this game, as we'll get set to get into it after the anthem. Everything has been very well done here at Rogers. I'm impressed. As we look at Vancouver, we know what they did last year in the second round against the Edmonton Oilers. Hell, we called one of the most memorable games in all of the playoffs. We know what the Vancouver Canucks are about. They brought a lot of people in, they took a lot of people out. And for the Flames, I still think, even though the rebuild might be 2-3 years away, there is a lot of optimism from what Craig Conroy has been doing with this team, and it's about growth. I know you might get a lottery pick this year, and we'll see where that goes, but I think there's still excitement in this Flames year.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think that listen, the players are always going to take a certain mindset, and they're competitors. They've reached this level of the game for a reason. You know, they're at the top and used to being at the top, and you have to have that kind of outlook, even if things maybe on paper aren't going to go your way. But my point is, I think a lot of these players in the leadership group for the Flames genuinely believe that they can surprise some people, and they get their first chance tonight. And John, you get to take it away. Let's hear that classic play-by-play, my friend.
So here we go. It's another season of Flames hockey. This will be the third opener that Cooper and I have been able to do with all the playoff games and everything else. You know what? It just feels like a tradition, so we have to do this. So the Vancouver Canucks, they'll take this one in. Again, they got the Orca. They got the dark blue at home. The Flames are mixing in between the white and the red that we often see on the road. But you only have the one feed for Sportsnet, so I still have to figure out who's going to be the new Flames play-by-play man as a knuckle puck. This one goes wide, and Connor Zary will pick it now up off the backhand. Dan Vladar is going to be in the cage against Arthur Shelovs, but that does not mean Dustin Wolf will be seeing some time here. He's the future Flames goaltender. As it's the Brust, Pedersen with a sharp angle chance, and this will get deflected out in front as Sportsnet's having some bouncing problems with their feed, but hopefully that'll clear up. As Backlund will send this one in. Tyler Myers off of the long flip. This takes a bounce. Here for the Flames, I'm trying to pick this up now for Hanzik. We'll send this around the end boards. This will be bounced around. Hughes will watch as one of the Canucks gets bounced out. Good save, Shelovs. Kadri was on the doorstep. Flames looked very dangerous early as this is picked up across the Orca now. Kuzmenko will drop this one. Kadri trying to make a play. Flames, this is a good start for them. Nazem trying to make a sauce pass and have to get back on their horse of the Flames. This will be sent back in around the board. So you got Miramano with Weegar, Rasmus, Andersson, and Ball, and Bean and Pahal here for the Flames. As this defensive core looks a lot different. Here's Susie with a chance. Stopped by the left pad of Vladar. As the Flames now will try to take this one left to right. This is frantic action here early between these two Canadian rivals. Kuzmenko. Hospital tries to get a piece of it, but it gets stick-lifted. And now to the Vancouver Canucks. Geez, Sportsnet, they need to figure out their feed. As this is JT Miller now. Besser. This will be tipped a couple times. And now a rush for the puck now with Vincent Desharnais, former Oiler. Huberdeau off the jump. Try to send this one across again, and we will get a whistle with 17:59. We get a penalty.
Yeah, penalty, but John, I have to commend your skills. People don't realize what we're seeing on our screens right now. I feel like I'm signed into AOL dial-up internet right
Thank
now.
Thank you.
But Hanzek, the young man wearing number 29, who we were just talking about, he almost scored the Flames' first goal of the year. He was right on the doorstep in the blue paint and was turned away by Shelovs. And then we do have a penalty coming up here shortly. And I am genuinely trying to get – oh, there it is. So we do have Heinen now for slashing. So at the 2-minute mark, we're going to have the first power play of the year for the visitors.
All right.
In red-white.
Cooper,
and, John's back on the call. Here we go.
I'm glad you said that, Cooper, because I was going to double take and ask you if it was just me as far as the internet side. Everything is good on the YouTube and our space, correct? So hopefully this just clears up.
Yeah, fingers crossed as the Flames now last year ranked 25th in power play success. We'll see if they can up that number this year. I know they'd like to rank a lot higher, but right now they got to get the puck back. It's in possession of Vancouver in their own end. So
Shelovs will try to send this around now with Connor Zary, Kuzmenko. This will get cleared back down the ice now as Vladar will send this. I mean, honestly, it looks like a vortex on the screen, but we'll try to be as professional as possible. It's MacKenzie Weegar will get this across the Orca now. Find the entry now is Kadri. And across the middle of the ice, Kadri looking for a tip, as this one will bounce away from Zary and across the red line now. Able to win the battle. Here's Vancouver just to kill some time here, so that's pretty good work. This will be Mikael Backlund, the captaincy for Calgary, able to collect. And now Weegar will start this one again as the fans get to their feet. That was a pretty good forecheck on kill. Here's a pass and off the boards, and this will be sent in. Can't touch for the Canucks who would have been offside, so it's Blake Coleman now. He'll loft the pass here for Backlund, but that one goes too far. Shots on goal remain just 2-1. Vancouver's got the edge on that. Cooper Hopkins is with me here. On the color side, we'll definitely flip in between the play-by-play, but it's the opener for both of these squads. We're just starting the 24-25 NHL season. I'll be back here with all of you once again. Pick up one more time for Anthony Mantha, former Red Wing. Here's a chance that goes to the left side of Sheloff's and sent back down. So Vancouver looks to be able to kill the first penalty against them in this young season with 16:10 left to go in the first. And I think we can say right now, maybe I'll speak too soon, that all the video feeds cleared up here, as this is sticked away a couple times. Vancouver has problems with it in their own end, but it'll be JT Miller, who definitely had a lot of production last year, but over 110 points. So you got to watch out for him when he can get things going. He's got a good set of hands as well. Quinn Hughes, NHL 25 cover athlete. We'll try to get this one around the end boards. Now Rooney's bothering him, as this will be picked up one more time here for Miller. Back pass into an open area. And now Quinn will spin it into his own end off the pass. Here's Philip Hronek. Outstretched from 100. Here it springs out JT on the left side boards. Spin and turnaround as this goes around the embankment. Slowed down by Vancouver. They're starting to get some steady puck possession now. Good hit there for Nazem Kadri. Tries the vulcanized rubber loose. Carson Soucy will send it in deep. This takes a fortuitous bounce. One-timer attempt, and Calgary cleans up the mess right in front of the slot, so Dan Vladar doesn't have to make a save. Here we go now with Nazem Kadri. One-timer, bullet. Shelovs makes the save. There's a stick sitting there. It's a loose puck. Picked up now for Kadri and across the wall. Here's another one. This one gets blocked. Vancouver now off to the races. Now Connor Garland tries to make a play. He gets upended. He'll get back to his feet now. Blind back pass. And this one gets picked up. Now the action's picking up. Kuzmenko, man, oh man, somebody blew a tire in Vancouver's own end. Maybe lost a skate blade. Kuzmenko trying to find it now. The former Canuck now with the Flames, as Vancouver will send it the other way now. Here's an outstretched feed from Jake Bean. He'll send this one in. Picked up now Miramonov. We'll get this across here for the Flames. Good pass now for Marty Pospisil. Will try to spring Rasmus Andersson off the break. And now Jonathan Huberdeau in his own end. He can't get it out. This is not a good turnover here. Right in the middle. Dan Vladar makes the save. Bails out Huberdeau there. We've talked about that before. Quinn Hughes. Left side dot as we've got end-to-end action here. It's been unrelenting. 13:55 left to go in the first. One-timer. It gets partially blocked. Turnaround chance saved by Vladar as well, so he's been busy. Vancouver now starting to get to this puck. And the Flames just need to get it out. Huberdeau will take a soft flip and across the neutral zone. Here is Hughes. Teddy Bluger, former Vegas Golden Knight. Here's a good pass, but it's too far. Picked up now for Daniel Sprong. Set up the 1T at the point. This one gets blocked before it ever hit Vladar. Hughes now. Bounce pass. Doesn't find anybody. Here's a jailbreak down the middle. Flames got a chance. Shoot this one wide on the right side glass. Connor Zary now. Try to get to this puck. Try to leave it here for Backlund. Backlund will lose it. Now to Blake Coleman. Try to go ahead and finish his check. Good rough ride against the boards. Blake Coleman gets a piece, but he loses his stick. Vancouver now on their own end. Trying to get to it. Long flip to him behind the defense. This is onside. Oh, it's saved by Vladar. What madness we've had in this game. Soucy, as this gets knuckle pucked in deep. MacKenzie Weegar now the other way here for the Flames. It's a 3-on-3. Let's go take some changes. Shelovs will touch as it gets sent in. Blake Coleman tried to find it now as Vancouver has it in their own end. I need to take a breath. I feel like I can't. As this one's sent in now. Bean picking up off the back pass here for Calgary.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, what a hit to the left side boards. This pries it loose. I'm glad we started with this one, and now we're getting a brawl.
Oh, my goodness, John. This is insanity, and we're not even 8 minutes into this game. I thought I was going to talk about the power play performance for the Flames, and we might have a serious situation with one of the Flames who was absolutely smashed into the boards. We have Desharnais coming together with Rasmus Andersson. Almost every member of the lines that are out, John, are mixing it up right now in the corner, including Lomberg, who's back with the Flames. But we have a man down for Calgary, and it does not look good at this moment.
Did we get a number on who was down? Somebody was hit heavy on the right side boards, and we caught that. It's just been so much action. We're still waiting here.
John, we have Mantha down on his knees, and I believe it's 21 for the Flames. I apologize. It's my favorite team, but I don't have 21 in front of me. Do you have your rosters up?
I do have rosters up, but I would need to look at numbers here. Let me try to pull this up on Hockey Reference. We're still waiting right now, as this does not look good.
So we have Mantha, who's down on the knee, checking in on his teammate. We have the Flames trainers out on the ice, 2 trainers, and now a third assistant from the Canucks. There is a player for the Flames, number 21, who's down on his back, who seems to be moving and is awake, eyes open, but there could be a concussion situation here. It's serious no matter what. They're stabilizing his neck right now.
Kevin Rooney
down for the Calgary Flames. A haul over to check in on his teammate, and the fans are up on their feet, and it is silent in Vancouver. We do have some great back and forth action here that we'll talk about, but right now the only thing we want to keep our attention on is the health of Rooney, who's down on his back on the ice.
Yeah, he's been a really good bottom 6 forward here for the Flames over the last couple seasons. Done a little bit of everything. Again, as we talked about, this action has been up and down. It was a very violent collision near the right side boards, and that kind of halted everything right now. We're actually taking a live look at it right now. And JT Miller, oh man, as he went for that shoulder check, which was clean, and hit the left side of his head against the boards.
Yeah, John, and I think from that overhead angle, as Rooney gets to his rear end here, and now, wow, we're going to have a stretcher, a backboard brought out just in case by staff in Vancouver. Now Rooney getting to his skates under his own power. That's very impressive, John.
Yes.
That's one of the more violent hits that I've seen, and we're just minutes into this season. He's being helped off the ice. He does seem woozy, and from what we saw in that brief replay, I do believe that Kevin Rooney lost consciousness. If it were even a moment, he did seem to go into that sort of frozen arms position that we've seen, unfortunately, frequently in professional football. We think of Tua Tagovailoa, who recently had that situation where the arms become stiff when you are in a concussion situation. So I think that's what the trainers have to assume right now. Obviously, we're not doctors, but he will probably not be back tonight, and we certainly hope he's okay.
No, I share the same sentiment with you, Cooper. And again, there's no easy way for me to say it, because I'm going to go right with what Cooper said during that live call. When we saw part of the hit, the camera was obviously on all the action. It looked like the eyes kind of went blank from the camera that we saw, and that's what Cooper was referring to there. Those violent collisions of the concussion. I think I'm right there with it. I would imagine we will not see him in this game now.
Yeah, and for those who didn't have the visual that we do, I was unable to see the severity of the hit. Obviously, I saw Rooney and John. I believe you saw who threw the hit, and I do think it was clean. We're going to have replays here, but either way, it was to the near boards, right? So
yes.
At the bottom of our screen, we were unable to see Rooney once he sort of, for lack of a better term, sort of disappeared below those lower boards, and we could not see the severity of what was going on. So a lot of action leading up to that. John, as always, you were right there on the call. I know you wanted to take a break. You weren't able to, and then unfortunately we got a break because of an injury situation. So lots to talk about as this game continues. But obviously, first things first, Rooney now taken to the room, and hopefully he will be at full health moving forward. But definitely a serious moment.
Yeah, and for JT Miller, again, he's just trying to make the play that he's supposed to make and finish his hit as we get that now. But you have that collision right near the boards. As we're coming back into live action off of this replay, the hit is clean. But the problem is you get near that left side boards, there's no give, and you just run right into the stanchion piece of it toward the end part of the boards. And that's what Rooney caught with the helmet, and that was not good.
Yeah, and I agree completely with John. Miller having a discussion right now with one of the referees, and it was a clean hit. The shoulder check, classic hockey check, and it was just an unfortunate situation. And now it will be a power play for Vancouver because of the retaliation after the hit, which of course you would expect.
Yes.
Given the nature of this sport, even though it was a clean hit in the moment, you know that teammates are going to come to each other's defense here. So couple of Flames in the box, make that 3. So we have Klapka, we have Kuzmenko, we have Ryan Lomberg, and so the Flames are going to be very short-handed here. And 2 minutes, first power play of the season coming up for Vancouver, who were just outside the top 10 in success rate last year.
Well, I mean, man, oh man, we've taken this game here, Cooper. We joined in this opener. It feels like we tossed a live hand grenade in between it. And now you have to have the Calgary Flames kill a penalty in which the Vancouver Canucks are a very prudent offensive team. So here we go. Opportunity now for long wrister. This one gets saved by Vladar. He's been very good early. Now Quinn Hughes off the back skate. We'll look to start this again. Arthur Shelovs again. You remember he only played 3 games in the regular season of the last couple of years. 10 playoff games. So just under 15 games total in the NHL. You got to make sure you test him when you get a chance to do so again. JT Miller, now to the left side dot, set up for Hughes. Here's a wrister into the screen. This one will go wide. Vancouver now. With Elias Pettersson. He gets hounded a couple times. Hall tries to get this one out. He'll do so. That was a very good bank because he was stuck in his own end. He was able to get that near the left side boards and get that out. Shelovs now for Quinn. They'll take this very casually here as they'll start this one up and across the Orca with Pettersson. Pettersson will get it chopped away near the left side boards, and now the Flames. Very good work on the penalty kill. That's one of the strengths for the Calgary Flames over the last couple of seasons, regardless of what they haven't had on the power play. They've been very good on the kill when they've had their chances. 25% for the power play for the Canucks at home. Here's JT Miller with a ton of speed, and right into the breadbasket. Dan Vladar's got it. A late shove from Miller might draw a crowd.
Yeah, it seems like the tenor of the game has changed here, and understandably so. I mean, for an injury of that nature that we were discussing with Rooney and, the potential loss of consciousness. So, again, we don't know and don't want to speculate, but obviously a serious moment. And the Flames doing a good job here to focus in, try to prevent any serious offensive opportunities here as they kill the penalty. But, yeah, you're going to see some chippiness going forward.
So this will be a key D-zone draw for the captaincy of the Flames and Mikael Backlund as we try to get it clear here. Again, shots on goal are 7-1. Dan Vladar has been very good early. This is picked up now for Filip Hronek as they'll look to start their set on the power play. Good contest. And near the left side dot. The Flames have a chance here with Backlund. We'll take a wrister 3 times. It gets blocked. Shelov says no with the stick. It fell right to the mouth of the crease. Danton Heinen there for Niels Höglander. Höglander drop. This gets knocked away a couple times. Picked up now for Philip. Start this one again and across the blue line here for Vancouver. Drop across center ice as they'll find an entry now. Pinball here. Heinen from Garland. Hyland gets it back to his defense for Filip Hronek. Here's a wrister, and this one is bar down and in. What a shot from the right dot.
Wow, John, an absolute snipe right there, and I'm going to try to maintain my professionalism here, but that's a little bit of a heart sinker. That kind of sent my heart down into the stomach as obviously a Flames fan first, but hey, respect to the Canucks. You saw Kuzmenko jumping up. He was ready to come out of the box. It was ticking down 5, 4, 3, 2, and I believe with 1 tick left on the power play, rough go for the Flames. They did everything except for that last second. Didn't close down the shot from the top of the circle. Through some bodies, Vladar can't find it, and it is 1-0. And you know what? I do have to admit that the Canucks, with that many shots that early, now on their 8th shot they scored, they probably deserve to get one because they've had the better of the chances so far.
I got to say this now, again, as incredulous, same thing for you for Seattle Kraken. We've seen him there. With the Red Wings, I still wonder why they let him go. Daniel Sprong. I should have known he would have got the first goal.
Yeah, it's a good call, John Spronger. He's underrated, but he contributes everywhere he goes. He was great with the Kraken. He was, of course, with the Caps before that. Here he is wearing blue tonight. And the Flames probably wish they had him because then it'd be 1-0 Calgary. But flip that around. It's 1-0 for the Canucks.
So Danton Heinen and Filip Hronek pick up the assist from him. That's an absolute snipe near the right side, as Cooper called him. That's about as easy as you like. He's just outside the right circle. He lets that one fly, and it's the top right of the mesh. Now it's an offensive zone draw here for Vancouver. Again, we can talk about what the score lines will be. Again, we got 81 more games of these, so you don't sweat one game. We know what both sides are probably going to do this year, but I do think it's a very important period here as the Flames, they've been submerged a little bit with shots, but I think they've played good defense at times. I want to make sure that they can keep this score line close and try to work their way forward. Here's a break for Blueger. He blows that one wide, just as I say, trying to get defensive coverages. And now Kuzmenko. This will be off the chip and chase with Carson Soucy, another former member of the Seattle Kraken. As this goes across the right side end boards. Picked up now as Bean gets taken out with the puck. Kuzmenko. This will go back now for Paul. Bounce right to Kadri. And that was a funny one right there toward the right side post. Flames try to keep it in on the left wall. And this will be flipped back down. So the long flip has been the measure of the day for both of these squads right now as Kadri makes the play, probably take his change. Derek Forbert now with Carson Soucy as he gets away from Connor Zary. Opportunity now off a long pass from about 120. It's Rasmus Andersson. It's a 2-on-1. He's going to have a tough time with this. Going to need some help. He needs some reinforcements now with Bean. Pick it up now for Zary. His pass gets bounced off of one of the Canucks. And Elias Pettersson will try to get to it now to the left side red line. Here's a wrister for Forbert. Vladar makes a big save, but it was a rebound. Forbert now off the give and go. Now for Pettersson near the left circle. He'll try to ride the wall, try to keep his hands alive here, but it gets hooked in the process. Flames don't want this, but they're going right back to the box.
Yeah, things starting to slide a little bit here for Calgary. And, prior to the big hit with the Rooney injury, I would have taken one of these opportunities to talk about how the Flames had kind of a classic power play. It feels like already so long ago when they had the man advantage. They didn't really have any key offensive opportunities. They didn't really establish themselves in the zone all that much. And that was going to be my complaint at the time. But now things have kind of gone the other way. They may be a little flustered here after one of their teammates has gone down. And again, they did a good job on that previous penalty kill, but you got to kill it all. You can't leave that 1 second. And they let Spronger step in, take that shot through traffic. It's 1-0. Now they're going to have to try to right themselves here after we come back from this media break here, John. But you know what? Maybe I'm being a little pie in the sky about it. But these are the kind of opportunities where if you can have a really clean kill, you clear that zone, you keep your goalie clean, they get no shots, etc. Maybe that can reset the mindset a little bit, send them back in a more positive direction.
As you said, they were a second away from the previous one. It feels like there's going to be chances in this game. It certainly seems like the game's going to be wide open. I mean, hell, in the playoff game that we talked about with Edmonton and Vancouver once we last worked together, we knew that it's back and forth on both ends of the ice. This could still be a chance for the Flames to do some damage in a game like this.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, there have been a couple of moments on the doorstep. Blake Coleman comes to mind with the most recent opportunity. I think he was trying to go forehand, backhand around Shilov's. I would have loved to see him just try to bang one home there. But, again, that just goes to say that so far the Flames have been, I won't say not composed, but they just have been a little less successful in establishing their offensive game. So that's not what they're going to be able to do here in these first 2 minutes. But you never know. John, we've called plenty of games where we've seen a shorty or two, and we'll see what happens as I believe Backlund is in the box right now for the Flames for that high stick. So it's going to be the second power play opportunity. They are 100% so far in the season, the Canucks, and they have the man advantage right now. Take it away, Mr. Ott.
And that means that the penalty kill for the Flames can only improve and their numbers can only go down. So let's take the positive here with 8:30 left to go in the first. John Henry with you alongside Cooper Hopkins, as always, humbled and happy to be here when we get a chance to work on the mics together. Here's a long outstretched pass. Oh, Vladar makes a great save off of a bounce off the boards as he robs Miller.
Well, he's had a couple of great saves so far. I mean, John, we say this frequently, but oh man, coming into the snapshot, Miller, boy, from about 10 feet out, that thing's bouncing near the bottom of the circle, and Miller just happened to put it right into the center of the dartboard, so to speak. Vladar in good position, and now the play has resumed.
So lively end boards. This isn't Jill Lewis Arena. Remember that. Is this one? Good pass out in front, and oh wow, what a power play finish that was. Brock Besser got an empty net after a gorgeous feed.
Man, oh man, nothing you can do about that one.
No.
You are slamming it home from 6 feet out. That is by number 6. That's Besser finishing it right there. Miller, just a couple of moments prior, probably should have made it 2-0. Well, Besser said, "Don't worry, pal, I'll pick you up." He just fires it into the open half of the cage. And nice pass right there in between the circles. And the Canucks are off and running here. Things looking good for the home squad. 2-0 is the score.
I mean, Jake DeBrusk has got to be feeling all over himself, correct? He's right out in front off the back skate, and all he's got to do is drop it, like you said, 5 or 6 feet there for Besser. I mean, you got to clean out the front of the slot.
No question about it. And John, just one quick moment here. I'm going to step away from the broadcast and then rejoin you. So you got to go solo just for a minute here, and I will be back in just a couple of minutes.
Gotcha. Daniel Miramonov gets dispossessed of the puck now as we get a big hit. This is going to spring some space again. Niels Höglander bounces in between his skates as this has been going back and forth right now. Picked up off the stick chop. Vladar makes the save. It's loose out in front, and they score again. Connor Garland puts the money symbol in, and now you kind of feel bad for Dan Vladar as this one's starting to come off the rails. 3-0 Canucks. Again, we talk about doing the openers or anything else, and we kind of talk about going into what we expect might happen in this game. What I don't want to see, especially for the Flames, now they're trying to see whether this is going to be a goal. What I don't want to see is what happened to Edmonton with Vancouver last year when it got to be 8 or 9-0. They laughed about that on the Sportsnet side of it, but these are just too many chances right now that you can't expect Dan Vladar to make all these saves. I want to see if there is anything offsides, as we'll take a look into the left side blue line, and that's very close. That's very possible that this goal is going to get rescinded. So I know Ray Ferraro's covered 3 games in the last 2 days as he's talking about it now. They're showing the finish. I think we're going to get a challenge here for offsides, but I think the refs are just going to say, you know what? We'll put this one on the board. Blake Coleman trying to plead his case. But they might have got the stick blade up in the air in time to negate the offsides. Connor Garland got an easy one against Dan Vladar. So it took Vladar's helmet off, and when Vladar's helmet comes off, usually that blows the play dead, but I don't think already when the puck is going into the net. So the Flames probably have some words that they want to go ahead and talk about, but right now the only thing that they can do is try to push this game the other way. They really need to get this next goal because the shots on goal are 13-2. They got more goals, and Calgary's got shots. Here's an opportunity now for the Flames. And then the right side boards. Played in nicely. Honzik lets this one go, and Shelovs will make the save. That's the first thing that the Flames need to do is get more pucks on net with 7:29 left to go in the first. So here's a situation for me. Again, I talked about it a little bit yesterday alongside the Bruins and the Florida Panthers bringing in Jonas Korpisalo over Jeremy Swayman because the ink hadn't even dried in on the contract. This might be one of those times anyway where you go with Dan Vladar just to make sure you get away from any sort of potential beatings going into the game on Saturday when you can start on home ice against Philadelphia. Now, that's a team that was borderline in the playoffs as well. They've just missed alongside Pittsburgh and Detroit. So Philadelphia, it's not going to be a picnic for any of the stuff for Calgary. But I think Ryan Huska made the right move, and you're going to immediately want to rebound in on Saturday. Again, 1 game, but we already know what Vancouver can bring offensively. If they're not ready to go for that, things can get a little ugly. As DeBrusk got the latest primary assist, 3-0. Vancouver's got the lead, 13-3 on the shot board. Hall will send this one as it bounces near the right side of the crease. Vancouver. This bounced away from Ryan Lundberg. He went from the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers now back to the Flames with the second stint. As this will go left to right, Calgary trying to make this pass now for Nazem Kadri. And this will get knocked away off of his stick blade. This will bounce. Höglander loses it in between his legs. 6:45 left to go in the first. Nice windmill move. Set up for Rasmus Andersson. This he'll drive toward the net, but his pass just bounces off Shelov's left pad. And JT Miller, full set of speed. This is a sauce pass ahead for JT. Lucky they didn't hook him there, but they finish off a couple hits, and you want to make sure you don't see red right now against JT. You got to concentrate on the game, as another penalty hand is in the air, and now things are starting to get testy one more time. Calgary trying to win the battle of this, but there's so much more time left in this game that you got to kind of refocus and get back on track. There's 6:21 left to go in the first. So JT protesting, and I'm going to look back in on the Flames box for ESPN. Again, Daniel Sprong on the power play from Philip Hronek and Danton Heinen, and then Brock Besser 2 minutes later at 11:48 from Jake DeBrusk and Elias Pettersson, Connor Garland. About 30 seconds after that from Niels Höglander and Aatu Ratti, who has his, can't say first points in the NHL, but it's got to be pretty close. Shelov's only had to make 3 saves. Dan Vladar has been submerged with chances, 10 out of 13. As I'm trying to see if anything else refreshes here. Looks like Anthony Manta's in the box. Let me go to the team stats here for the Canucks. 2 for 4 power play opportunities. This would be the fourth if they score. It'd be 3 out of 4 here. It's already too many, and you're just handing them chances out like candy. So 2 for 2 on 6 shots as the ESPN box will set itself. I'll get Cooper Hopkins back in here on the cast. And I think he joins right back in time here because Vancouver, this is already Twilight Zone. They're already back on the power play here as Manta is in the box for roughing. This will be played now for Backlund. We'll try to get this one out. Use the glass. Actually bounces off the referee. This is going to be a break for Vancouver, but now they'll call delayed offsides.
Well, John, lots happened as soon as I stepped away. And now we have a 3-0 scoreline here, and Hughes makes his way back to the bench for the Canucks. But with 5:49 left to go in the first, yeah, it's a 3 spot for the home team, and the Canucks are coming out flying here as the Flames get waved out of the faceoff circle. They'll have to have a substitute jump in, and it's sort of all Vancouver right now. And I think right now you can see the frustration, some of the distraction by the Flames. Huberdeau, Mantha in the box right now, Backlund, who took a penalty earlier. Hopefully the Flames can right the ship here, but taking such a significant injury to a teammate like Rooney did, that's got to be tough to swallow so early in the season, and they're a little out of sorts.
Sure. I don't think there really is any other way to put it. I guess the hope is you get to the dressing room with the 20 minutes and you got to mentally refocus because, again, this is just night one of a very long season, regardless of what it's going to be for any of these teams. You still got 81 more left, but you got to have the focus, especially on night one, regardless of what happens. And that's what you have to have, especially when you play the Canucks, because we saw what the Canucks did in the first 2 games against the Edmonton Oilers last season. Their first meeting was an 8-0 victory. So Höglander will get this off the left side wall. This will bounce toward the right side dot. Calgary, they'll get to it first man to it. And across center ice, even some of the clears here for Calgary only hit 100 feet. They don't go 200, as Vancouver just seems to be playing with the vulcanized rubber this whole entire first. Here is another penalty against the Flames as Shelovs leaves the crease. We're going to have a 5-on-3 for 22 seconds. Now, I will say this. If you're Ryan Huska, you got to start commanding the troops here. This can't keep happening.
Yeah, this is now starting to get a little unruly. I think it's, the expression on every individual roster player for the Flames is just one of frustration, and there's a little bit of a blankness there. And that's right. I think you got to get Huska to rally the troops here. And, I mean, listen, we're not going to go so extreme as to say call a timeout here, but now Pospisil's in the box. You're getting penalties from players that normally don't take penalties. I just feel like they're shaken kind of to their core here. A couple more seconds of the 2-man advantage, 10 seconds to be exact. So, John, I'll let you take it through this 2-man.
And the Pospisil trip was in the opposite side for Vancouver in their own end. I really don't think that was a good one. Miller lets it go. Now to the high slot, picked up here for Vancouver. They can do whatever they want here. Mantha out of the box. He gets the interception. He's got speed. He should have the energy right out of the box. Mantha, final scores!
My word, John, just like that. That's a beautiful play right there. A bit of a lucky bounce, but Mantha makes that happen by being on his horse out of the box. And he has some words. I wish I were a lip reader. He has something, a choice to say to the Vancouver listen, they can just look up and say scoreboard, pal. But for now, the Flames have at least done a little something to get their feet back underneath them, and that's to number 39, the former wing. That's Anthony Mantha with a great silky move right there. He's just turning that stick blade over, forehand, backhand, 5-hole score. He's feeling good, celebrating with Backlund. Still, 4 minutes to go here in the first. It's 3-1 Vancouver. We'll see if the Flames can build on that score.
Cooper, I just got to say this before I get back into the play-by-play. Anthony Mantha made that look easy.
It was casual. And you know what, though? When you're working that hard with your feet from the waist down, he's driving those skates. He gets to the puck. He carries it through the neutral zone. He creates a breakaway for himself, and he finished. He made it look good.
Here's a fake slap pass. Daniel Sprong. Good sacrificial block there for the Flames. We'll see if this gives them some energy and some refocus. Hard not to after you come right back out of the box. So you get the theft, and you take that one coast to coast and score on Shelovs. Look like he's done that thousands of times, but he is a professional. He used to score a lot of goals for Detroit. The one knock on Mantha was he didn't play much on the other end, but you couldn't tell on that play as it was played now down here for the Canucks. Pettersson, this will be 3:10 left to go in the first. They still have the man advantage here. They've had plenty of chances, but the Flames do get one on the board. It's 3-1 Vancouver with the lead. Big flub on a slap shot opportunity as the Flames now try to get this out of their own end. JT Miller, Quinn Hughes off the back skate, back to JT. As this will be dispossessed into the left circle. Quinn now. The let one go. It goes just wide and off the embankment. Down to 2 seconds. Hughes rides that blue line. JT left circle. Cross tip. My goodness. Right out in front of the net. And this one's finished off by Besser. His second. It's 4-1.
Oh man, boy, John, right when you think the Flames might be breathing a little, get a little life breathed into them, that breath just got kicked right out of their chest. And the Canucks are really, really looking good here. You have to say it, despite the fact that there was the distraction and the difficulty with the injury, they've done what they've needed to do. This is good, sound hockey positioning. Stick blade on the ice. Miller, a crisp pass into the blue. And boy, oh boy, that is beyond the doorstep. That's inside the house.
Yeah.
It's 4-1. The Canucks they are making it look easy, you have to say.
I talked about this a little bit in the game in between Florida and Boston last night, where Florida made their money right in front of the crease. It's just not been cleaned out. I mean, Dan Vladar, I would say on 3 or 4 of these goals right now, Cooper, he's been absolutely housed. He's not going to be able to do anything with any of that. Kadri, this will be sent back in around the inboards. But go ahead, I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, no, John, as the Flames had a shot there that was turned away by the left pad of Shelovs with 2:05 here to go in the first. I do want to say as the Flames collect in their own end, listen, lots of things that we can say. I'll save some of it for the intermission. But, I know this is going to be a down year for the Calgary Flames for all intents and purposes. That's the way things have been looking. But, now we're looking at a 4-1 scoreline with icing here, 1:51 on the clock in our opening period. We're looking at a situation where, boy, you don't want Dan Vladar's confidence to be shot here. And you are right. That's all I was going to say is he has been left out to dry for, I would say, 3 out of these 4 goals. And he's made other significant saves.
Yes.
You don't want to put Huska as a team in a situation. You don't want to have your coach have to start thinking, do I need to get Wolf into the crease? And then, oh my gosh, in game 1, we start to have these narratives of who's the starter, who's confident, who's the hot hand. Even in a rebuilding year, those are things you want to avoid.
Yeah, you do. And again, I think just like you do probably, Cooper, for the opener on Saturday against the Flyers, you're probably going to go with Dustin Wolf and bring the energy there. But you had to give Dan Vladar this start with the veteran presence against Vancouver and a high-powered team because you didn't want to put Dustin Wolf in that situation. But you're exactly right. Again, this is just game 1. We know that these guys are going to get some splits, and who's going to be the lead we'll figure out. But this is not what you want. You got to clean out the front of the net first and give Vladar some chances to make some saves. Here's a slapper. This one blocked. Good save, Vladar. Another chance as now we're going to get some fist throw. They want a piece of JT Miller. There's a lot of distractions on the ice right now. And JT Miller trying to feed some lunch, trying to see who's on the other side. That's Klapka. He went for the bomb. He took himself down. But this game is going nuts. That's Mantha.
Yeah, 39 on 9. Mantha, he was, John, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't consider him a frequent fighter.
No.
But boy, oh boy, he and Miller had words, and they dropped those gloves at the Flames blue line. That was an orchestrated fight. They agreed to that thing, and they were right in front of the Flames bench. I think it had to happen. Mantha took a couple of right hooks right there. I think he got one uppercut in before they both went down. But man, oh man, this has been a tough one for the Flames. It's been some hard sledding, as the saying goes in football. And you know what? Even if the scoreline stays here or gets worse as we get through our second and third periods, I think somebody had to step up. Miller's hit was clean, as you and I both agreed. But when you injure someone, you're gonna get the fisticuffs, and that's what we just saw.
I got to remind myself that we still got 40 minutes left to go in this game. And after the game I saw last night, which was 6-4 Florida, and it was pretty much a housing. I know Boston made it closer toward that third, but that game was never really close. And now I feel like we got a game's worth of stuff to talk about. We're not even through the first period.
Yeah, actually, John, that's one of the sharpest points. You're always making sharp points, but that one, you just kind of opened my eyes. What we're seeing right now, the kind of activity that we're seeing, and of course the fight that just took place, it feels like we have a minute left in the third. You're exactly right. And my friend, we got 41 minutes and some intermissions to go here. So, who knows? This thing could end up 9-2. It could be ugly for Calgary. It's already been a very difficult game so far. But you know what? In that difficulty, because of the time that remains, you get some opportunities here. Maybe we start to roll those third and fourth lines a little more. Just try to build some chemistry, even if this thing gets away from you. You got to fight for your teammate who cannot be out there on the ice. You got to try to put your best foot forward and do your job.
I know we had so much going on. I was not able to even ask you as far as the roster construction. So what's going on with Yegor Sharangovich? Do we know how long he's going to be out? Maybe a couple weeks?
Yeah, I think you're right on the money there. And it's never great when you see the designation of week to week, but at least we're not looking at month to month. Okay. And I'll be completely honest, I don't have a full picture of what led to that designation for his injury. Obviously, something happened in the run-up to the start of the season here, so I don't think we will probably see him until late October, if I had to guess.
Okay, because that's another offensive piece that played very well for the Flames all season long. To be able to get him back, they'll be eager to do so. Again, Kuzmenko, remember the former Canuck now with the Flames. There's some contract talks with that about how long Kuzmenko's going to be here. What are they going to do? There's a lot to do with this Flames team, and General Manager Craig Conroy is going to be very busy, but I do think he's going to have it on the right foot. Here is Kiefer Sherwood, former Pratt, and that was a one-timer that was missed right out in front of the circles, and then a baseball-style snag for Vladar. But again, that's a 1T. That's about 5 feet from the crease.
Yeah, and let's not let it get lost here in the fact that the Canucks have 4 goals. Vladar has made some really, really solid saves, and I think the majority of the goals that have been scored, there was, needless to say, nothing he could do about it. So 32.3 here to go in the first. Flames need to get into that dressing room. I think the Canucks will be happy for a breather, but I'm sure they want to just keep this thing rolling. You can take it away, John, just a little bit here to go in the first period.
Nazem Kadri, number 91, D-zone draw. And this will be one more time for Kuzmenko, as this will be sending out for Connor Zary. Again, Zary, Pospisil. Those are some of the top young performers that the Flames will want to kind of lean into, especially as the season goes along. And we will get another icing here with 17 seconds left in the first. The score is 4-1 Vancouver. The shots are 15-4. Again, you take the first period, you figure out everything, you measure yourself, but you come out in the next 20 minutes and try to put your foot back on the gas.
Yeah, no question about it. A little bit of a bumpy finish here, and no pun intended with the fight that we just had between the Canucks and the Flames. But you got a couple of seconds left here. Flames to the ozone draw. They win it. There's a shot right there to the right of Sheilov. John, I'm just going to finish it out here. I got to shake the rust off of my own play-by-play. We are streaking Weegar, and Weegar could not find the puck with his stick blade. Would have had about a quarter of a net to shoot at. But that will be it for this first period. Zeros on the big board. And I think a needed break here for the Flames, but you get that shot of Besser throwing some fist bumps. There's Spronger, who was on the first goal duty. And hopefully
So I don't want to jump all over Cooper because I might have lost him here for a moment, but we'll definitely get him back in regardless. As it is,
I'm still with you here, John.
I think I got you back now. I know
I think I hear you.
Yeah, I think I think we had a little bit of lag there, but we're good. We got all the way through it. Again, I will give everybody the reset as we gone through Daniel Sprong on the power play. That was just before it expired at 9:40, Phil Peronic and Danton Heinen, and then a whole host of penalties across the board as there was an injury with Kevin Rooney. He's not going to be able to return and took a heavy hit from JT Miller, which was clean, but that drew a lot of angst. Brock Besser on the power play from Jake DeBrusk and Elias Pettersson. Connor Garland then followed 30 seconds later from 148 to 12:16 from Niels Höglander onto Ratti. Anthony Mantha, beautiful play coming right out of the box, scoring shorthanded. He made that look very easy against Arthur Shelovs, but Brock Besser right out in front. He was right on top of the crease, essentially could have breathed on Dan Vladar from JT Miller and Quinn Hughes at 17-18. It is Shelovs just 4 out of 5 in the save department, and Dan Vladar 11 out of 15. As you get your reset after the first 20. Again, let me look at the team stats very quickly before Cooper jumps in here. 6 power play opportunities already for the Canucks. They've scored on 2 of them.
Yeah, they have. And it's been a wild, weird, wacky. I'm not sure wacky's the right term. It's definitely been wild in a first period here. And the Flames have a little of, dare we say it, we're only 20 minutes in. They got a little soul searching to do here. And listen, I understand when a teammate suffers a serious injury, it can be difficult to maintain composure, maintain focus. I think they've done what they needed to do now. The fight has taken place. Miller has been fought. Mantha stepped up in that regard. I think at this point, it's, you got to think about, as we said right before the break, continuing to do your job as best you can for your teammate that cannot join you anymore through this game. Hopefully it's just this game. But we'll see how things go. And the Flames have some climbing to do. 3-goal deficits have been recovered from before. But the way the Canucks are playing, they seem to be men on a mission. Don't you think, John?
I do. Again, I think that they are probably in the same boat with players in and players out, Cooper, that Vancouver probably finds themselves in the second round at least. I think they're the same team that we know that they already are.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think they're showing their home fans at least they're showing them that they have the capacity to, just like you said, return to that spot where they were before. And I'm thinking that they are going to be serious players in the division, and obviously I think a lot of pundits are picking the Edmonton Oilers once again to make another deep run, if not win it all. Finally. But who knows what will happen? All I know right now is that the Canucks are not to be ignored in their division. They're going to be competitors for sure.
No, they're not. And again, let's talk about really quickly some former Flames. I'm going to go into some baseball scores and all that too because I want to hit everything. But they do not re-sign Nikita Zadorov and Elias Lindholm, who signed big deals with the Boston Bruins.
It's true. And I think a lot of Flames fans, as much as we enjoyed having Lindholm, I certainly did, wearing the Flaming C. I think he was a different player as you can understand, after the breakup of his line, which, hey, when you have Matthew Tkachuk on one side and now thinking, may he rest in peace, Johnny Gaudreau on the other, that, is a line that was so elite a few seasons back. And he still contributed for the Flames, but just never in the way that I think fans and coaching staffs hoped that he would. So he moves on, and, hey, John, we called plenty of games with Zadorov wearing the Flaming C, and I miss him. He was a fun player to watch. He's a real contributor. He was in the playoffs, and I think he's going to do some great things for Boston. And, that's one especially. Nikita, my friend, I salute you as a Flames fan. Thanks for everything you did for Calgary, and I'll be rooting for you, even though you're way out in the east in Beantown.
So there are some NHL scores. We'll jump into these really quick. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, not a very happy home opener at PPG Paints. Vinny Trocheck scores a pair of goals And the third, well, I guess they changed it to Chris Kreider, but Chris Kreider, Vinny Trocheck, Philip Hedl, Alexei Lafreniere, Sam Carrick, Tristan Jarry stops 35 of 41, but they can't solve Igor Shesterkin. They lose 6-0 on home ice to begin the year.
Yeah, not what you're looking for, John. And I think this speaks a little bit to what I think a lot of fans have been expecting over the past couple of years. It's really the Sidney Crosby era. Now, by no means am I pinning this on him. This is not about Sid the Kid or anything like that. But you look at the teams that were competitive, in the Cup chase 6, 8, 10 beyond, and years ago and beyond. And I think about the Capitals, and I think about the Penguins, and we're looking at the sort of late stages of both of those dynasties, right? Or what you could make an argument there was a dynasty there, and at least with their star players. So yes, the Penguins really shaky start here, and we'll see what the rest of the season has to hold as we're really at that last little glimpse of the window, as we like to say, that championship window, if there is one left at all.
Yeah, I agree. Again, this is a early score line, but the Canadians, they get off to the right foot. Again, star of the week. I know star of the game, maybe star of the week. Sam Montembeault, 48 out of 48, earns the shutout against the Leafs on home ice. Cole Caulfield's goal on the power play at 7:48 from Yuri Slafkowski, and Kirby Dach is the one that holds up. Again, the question is whether or not the Canadians can kind of make some noise. They're a good young team. I don't know if they're ready to get in the playoffs, but Lane Hudson is another guy on the defensive side that they do think can win the Calder. That's a really good start for Sam Montembeault, especially 48 out of 48 against the Leafs offense, as that ruins Craig Berube's debut.
Yeah, great point, John. I'm right with you. I'll be a little less long-winded this time around. I think you're right. I think the Canadians probably aren't a playoff team, but some signs of life there. It's always good. I love when the Canadians are competitive, and they certainly were getting that W.
And a couple quick ones in progress here before I switch gears. The Jets giving everything to the Oilers right now. Adam Lowry and Mason Appleton, first period scores there. Stuart Skinner, 6 out of 8. Connor Hellebuyck, 13 of 13, as that's underway in the second. And the Golden Knights drop a 3 spot on the Abs. It's 3-1 after one. Mikko Rantanen, the Moose, opened the scoring from Nathan McKinnon and Devin Taves. But Victor Olofsson, Ivan Barbashev, and Mark Stone, late period goals, 2 goals 23 seconds apart before the end of it, have given the Golden Knights the big lead, as Aiden Hills 13 out of 14 and Alex Gergiev 8 of 11.
Yeah, great breakdown. Could be another good year for the Golden Knights. We'll see what is in store in Vegas. I'm very intrigued. I was just down there this past summer, and I got to see T-Mobile up close. I have not yet been inside, John. I have to change that maybe this season. But first things first, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. We got to make our way to Seattle. But yeah, very intrigued to see what the Knights do this year.
I do want to, we can definitely do that in the second intermission. I do want to selfishly, very selfishly, because this is a sports show in the intermission as well as we get into this game. Let's go into the ALCS or ALDS and NLDS as well. We'll save the best for last, and I know where I'm joking with that. But the Yankees and the Royals, the Pinstripers win 3-2 as Giancarlo gets a 417-foot go-ahead home run. Yankees lead that best of 5, 2-1. Francisco Lindor. I know that there is a lot of talk about Shohei Ohtani winning MVP in the NL, and he's going to, but Francisco Lindor, what a heck of a run the Mets have been on. They eliminate the Philadelphia Phillies on Lindor's grand slam. They win 4-1 and take the series. Right now in progress, the Dodgers all over the Padres trying to force a Game 5. They currently lead 5-0 in the top of the 6th. But I do have to end on this, and it's not over yet. I'm going to cover the game tomorrow, maybe Saturday. Hopefully it can try to get done tomorrow. The Tigers shut out the Guardians again. All 3 wins have been by shutout on both sides. Tigers win 3-0, identical scores. They strand a couple runs from the 1st, 6th, kind of make it stand up. Tigers win 3-0. They take a 2-1 series lead, have a chance to close it out at Comerica, and go to the ALCS tomorrow.
And a certain someone will be on that call, won't he?
Yes, I will. I'm going to try to go ahead and get that one. I'm hopeful the Tigers don't have to use Tarek Skubal for Game 5 on Saturday, but if that's the case, survive in advance. You got to do what you got to do. But yes, Tigers have a chance to go to the ALCS. I didn't even think I'd be calling playoff games.
No, and John, not getting ahead of ourselves here. And listen, as a Mariners fan, hey, we were in the chase, which we shouldn't have been in down the stretch. But perhaps, my friend, it's a sign. It's a sign of our bond as buddies. Maybe the Mariners had to sacrifice for the Tigers to be able to do something very special. We won't label whatever that special thing could be. It's already been pretty fantastic to see. And I will suffice it to say that the Tigers are they're on a heater, my friend. They are making heads turn, and I think they're taking the baseball world by surprise just a little bit. They made their way into the playoffs, and as the saying goes, anything can happen. Tomorrow could be a real fun one.
You know what I don't know, and it's maybe hard to explain here, Cooper, but you'll know exactly where I'm going with on this. There's not any keynote stars. You have Tarek Skubal, who's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. That can't be argued. But it's a bullpen by committee with only one starter, and it's a bunch of hitters that are a bunch of kids. Baseball, they've gone on a magical run. Who knows how long it's going to last? But I mean, sometimes you just can't explain what you watch, and that's why we watch sports.
100%. I know you'll be hard pressed to keep that signature professionalism of yours. I know the fan, the heart beating inside you is going to want to come right out of your chest if the Tigers take a lead into the ninth. But it's really special. I'm excited for you. I know we always touch on, of course, the teams that I have followed through the years. You know, here we are calling Flames game and our Seattle teams, or I should say my Seattle teams, and then your teams as well. We always get into the Red Wings, and then this time, it's been a couple of seasons where we didn't have much to say about the Tigers because there really wasn't much to say. And trust me, I'm not saying that to be hurtful. I mean, I'm a Mariners fan, for gosh sake, but this time around, Detroit Tigers, man, they are looking real good, and I think they have all we'll say is they have the pieces. Pieces are there, and when you're shutting down a team like the Guardians, I mean, listen, the Guardians can hit the baseball.
Yes.
When you're putting up forcing them to put up goose eggs, you're doing something really, really good, and I don't see any sign of that stopping.
And I'll close out on this. I'm glad that you sent me that message. I really appreciate you reaching out to me because I know you would anyway because we're good friends. But when you said the thank you message for the Tigers beating the Astros, that was just a happy moment in unison for both of us.
100%. First time, John. First time, I think, since 2016 that the Astros were knocked out early enough that they would not appear in the ALCS. Can you believe that?
No, I mean, I can't believe the Tigers are the team that did that. In a game 2 where it was just chaos, and you start with Skubal, you might get game 1, but that lineup's so good. How are you going to be able to close them out? Well, they've been doing that for about a month and a half now.
Yes, indeed. No, it's exciting stuff. And, now back to the hockey side, getting some of those replays. I'm glad you covered everything. But, yeah, the Golden Knights in those golden jerseys, making things look good there as they got those 2 quick goals. And the captain included, he makes it 3-1. It's good stuff here as we kick off the NHL season. Back in Seattle last night, I was a little surprised to see the St. Louis Blues come back and spoil the Kraken's home opener. They had the 2-0 lead and then 3 unanswered. The Blues take care of that one. So I was in town for that one, didn't see it in person. And we will talk about being in town at the Climate Pledge a little later. But still, 4-1 right here in our game that we're covering tonight. The Canucks really looking good so far. Not that we're shocked by it, but Flames a lot of work to do.
Well, I think that we covered as far as what we think both the Flames and the Canucks are going to do this year, but I think we still have a little bit of time in our intermission here. What are you expecting from the Seattle Kraken? I know Dan Bowlesma will get the call up from the Coachella Valley Firebirds and try to get things going. I saw Riker Evans there. Shane Wright was there. They're trying to get a few other younger pieces, but they've got to just be able to score a few more goals, correct? Because that's how they'll make a press forward.
Yeah, I think you're right, and let's just keep it simple. I think that's really the main thing. It's just having a little more offensive consistency. And if I had to flash forward toward the end of the season, my only expectation is that the Kraken are in it. As we got toward the latter portion of the regular season, Seattle had really obviously fallen out. It was clear they were not going to be a playoff team. I think they were mathematically around it for a little while, but then even that fell by the wayside. I think that I am not going to be so bold as to say I expect them to return to the playoffs after a year away. I just don't know, as this team is currently constructed, really what to expect. I think there are enough new pieces that it's hard for me to predict. But I think there is enough skill on the team. I would say goaltending is a little bit of a question mark for me, but in front of the crease, I think there is enough there that they should at least be in the conversation into the last several weeks of the season. If it doesn't come to fruition, it's not going to be heartbreak over here. It's not like I'm expecting them to go on a deep playoff run. Certainly not. I'm just hoping for them to be in the conversation. Am I being reasonable, my friend, or am I selling them too short? What do you think?
No, I think you're being reasonable, because this is the one thing I want to talk about too, and this is why you bring those additions in. Brandon Montour and Chandler Stevenson were not cheap. So even if they're around it, I think that's what they want. I think the only way we can say failure is if Seattle was in the hunt for a lottery pick. I understand all the way across the board for Ron Francis that there's a lot of pieces to work with, and the team's going to be in good shape no matter what. But you can't have them completely not be a team that is competitive.
Right, yeah, I think But look, Montour and Stevenson aren't going to, be the only ones to carry the load here, and it's still going to be some of the players that we've seen since the team's inception, and I'd love to see a little bit more. Not that it was a down year by any stretch, but your boy, we got to see Matty Beniers.
Yes.
Continue just talking about growth, right? No pressure that needs to be over the top or any expectation that he's going to lead the team in points. But I think he's a current and future leader of the franchise. And maybe he just takes a couple of strides in that direction. Maybe he's a little more vocal. Maybe it's, maybe we increase the apples by 10. Maybe it's a 5-goal increase. Just increments to see that the franchise is moving the right way. So with all those things in mind, and I do think Montour and Stevenson are going to have nice seasons. It's just, does it all gel enough to make it happen? And so we come back here with Mantha and Miller now looking at each other across the glass, each in their respective penalty boxes, John. And we're going to have 5-on-5 here, but those were the two boys involved in the showdown throwing hands. And so they will sit to start the second period.
Do you want to take this second period?
Let's split it up. Why don't you keep rolling? And once we hit that halfway point, I think I'm warmed up here. But if you don't mind, do you mind taking the first 10 of this?
Okay, I'll do it. Let's go here. So we got 15-5 on the shot board. It's a 4-1 lead for Vancouver. Again, we talk about a little bit in the open of that first intermission. We had a game's worth of highlights and stuff to talk about, but we still got 2 more periods. We got 40 more minutes to go as puck drops here at Rogers. This will all the way down for an immediate icing as we'll get settled into the second.
Yeah, just 12 seconds gone here. And, 4-1. Your scores of the 3-goal deficit there. So we get Huska on the screen for us, and we got the Flames here with an opportunity and a clean sheet of ice. Maybe they've cleared their heads a little bit as well. We don't have an update on Kevin Rooney, who's injured at first, but the Flames win an offensive zone draw. There's a shot through traffic, bounces off of a body. Boy, Sheloffs couldn't find it. And wait a second, I thought I told John to do the play-by-play. I'm going to let him take it back over.
That was Kevin Ball from the former New Jersey Devils. Here's a wrister red tight for Coleman. Good save there, Sheloffs.
Yeah, good positioning right there. Sheloffs tight to his – boy, he was looking left as Coleman gets the puck on the forehand, and he was trying to go across the body. And Sheloffs had his glove right up by the chest. And I think if Coleman can elevate that a little more, it's 4-2.
That's what you want to see there for the young goaltender, and Arthur Sheloffs just continuing to get his feet wet in the NHL. It certainly feels like in the given games that he's going to be getting some run support, so to speak. So that's what you want. unfair draw on the drop, and Nazem Kadri was slow to get to his feet with Teddy Bluger. We'll see who they will shuffle out. So now they keep for Sherwood, who's normally on the wing, alongside Nashville. He was the new addition here for Vancouver. So Kadri should have the advantage here, but Sherwood able to get this one in across. This is a bounce puck, and this is played very well by Vancouver as well to gain this one down the zone. Finish off a couple hits. Weegar able to push his ahead from right to left, as this will be knocked away from Miramonov. This will go in around the horn. Calgary will try to take this one right to left the rest of the second. There's a knockdown near the bench as Tyler Myers, who inked a long deal with Vancouver, will send this one again, and we get another whistle at 1906.
Yeah, so, John, we're getting a little package right here, and I actually was going to talk about something else, but since we're looking at some highlights of Shelov's, what have you seen from him so far? He's had to make a couple of saves. Nothing that I would classify as major, but he's looked good. He's looked confident, and just let that one in on the breakaway.
Yeah, the last that we've seen from Shelov's in the game, they covered maybe a couple stinkers in the playoff game against Edmonton, but I think when the puck is in front of him, he has a chance to be athletic. He can make the saves. He certainly seems like he's got poise for a young man.
Yeah, I agree, and obviously the saga with the Demko situation, those injuries. I mean, Shelov's has had to step up. He's done so for the most part, and he's looked good tonight. Again, just the one breakaway that he let that 5-goal in, but the mitts were nice and silky, and I'm going to let John get back to it here as we hit the sub 19-minute mark. So just into the second period, 15 shots to 6 in favor of Vancouver. Little battle for the puck there is won by the Canucks.
So of note, Kevin Lincoln was signed from Nashville to also back up Shelov's. He's going to be there for who knows how long until Thatcher Demko comes back in, because when Demko does come back in for the Canucks, he'll need to work off some of that rust and burn, but he can be a potential franchise netminder, and that's what we know of him. So that is another piece Vancouver's going to be able to use for Rick Tocchet's squad going forward. So 18-20, officially love to go on the second. John and I with you alongside Cooper Hopkins. We're going to be switching at the halfway marker. Just happy to get back into play-by-play and work alongside Cooper Hopkins again as we continue to try to work our way through the 24-25 season. We're just getting started. We'll be doing many more of these. As this goes down near the left side of the bench, Vancouver now this gets knocked away from Niels Höglander. Connor Zary try to get this one near the Calgary bench, but I think we're going to get this one offside, 17:56.
It's a bit of a bumpy start here as we get into the second period, and John, we see this from time to time, and we always try to decipher if that's a benefit in any way for either of the teams. I don't think so. I think we're just trying to get the flow of this second period going, and the Flames won a couple of good faceoffs here. I know it's something simple, but getting those faceoff wins and some offensive possession time is always a boost for the old morale. Flames trying to corral this puck now in their offensive zone, throwing a couple of checks there is Lomberg. Love having him back as a Flame, and he says he's happy to be back as well.
And again, at least right now, to stop some of that pacing for Vancouver, that can be a good thing here for Calgary as they continue to find their way through this game. We still got tons of time left in it. So this is Quinn Hughes now off the back skate. This is wristed right out in front of Vladar. Never saw it. That one got whistled high. Heinen was right on top of the goal again.
Oh, John, that's two shots that Vladar didn't see. I think the first one's through traffic coming from just at the top of the circle to his right. Boy, Vladar was looking the opposite direction. Heinen finds the bouncing puck, and then that one is deflected up and away. My goodness. As we say, probably should have been 5-1 there, if not for a little deflection. Heinen was close, just a few feet out.
Yeah, from some of the saves, we talked about this a little bit at the end of the first, some of the saves that Vladar's already made, you could make the argument that this game could be about 7-1, the way that this has been, because he's been pretty good, all things considered. 3 of the goals against Vladar has not been his fault whatsoever, as this is a puck chop that will be won here by the Orcas, as this will be sent in across. Picked up now for Zary. Touch pass, try to find Blake Coleman. The Flames will keep this in, reverse hit. Zary now gets this back to his feet with the vulcanized rubber. Here's Backlund. Good pass for Zary, and a glove save for Shelov's in the back door.
Yeah, Shelov's just not letting anything in, especially to his right. The Flames have sort of set up in that play a little bit of a triangle there with Backlund in the trapezoid. Well, he actually inadvertently checked his man down right there. That was Hughes getting a little hip check from Backlund. and then Zary gets the puck out front. He does get some good wood on it, but again, Shelov's in the right spot at the right time, and nice, cool, calm, collected, etc. Keeps it 4-1.
So shots 15-7, Shelov's 262, 898 save percentage in 9 career games. Again, that is all in the postseason for what to be able to work off of, unless they were talking about the regular season. I think those are all postseason numbers for him. As this is picked up now across the left side red line. Opportunity here for Miramonov, again, the former Vegas Golden Knight. It's not that he wasn't very good. He's just on that depth chart with all the defense that they can throw out there alongside Bill Foley, the GM. They had to be able to move on. So Craig Conroy pushed that button. He's going to get a lot of time here with the Flames. And on the left side, Myers picked this up off his back skate. We'll start again and send it toward Hoglander. Bouncing puck. Where is it? This goes down Miramonov, able to find it with the stick on the left side boards. And the Flames escape the danger. Coleman on his off wing. They'll just take this one in. Everyone else going to take a change. Big number 20 is going to stay out there. He had a tremendous year last year. Was the best plus minus on the team. He did everything, Blake Coleman. They would love to have that kind of year again for the Flames. Even though they know where they're going to be this year, they know that they can depend on his production alongside Nazem Kadri as well. As this is sent back down, Vancouver's on the edge of their change. And Jake Bean, former Carolina Hurricane, now with the Flames, will send this one in. Now, Vincent Desharnais will watch Bean off the pinch. And the left side dot. This will be put towards Shelov's. Big series of cross checks right out in front of the net. That's got to be called. Absolutely took out Ryan Lomberg for no reason.
Wow, Lomberg, he was in fair position right in front of the crease. Boy, he got cross-checked what looked to be right in the chin. He takes one to the forearm. Desharnais goes up top with the left fist, and he drops Lomberg. Now, listen, Lomberg, not a huge man, but boy, Desharnais really manhandled him right there, and that one is an easy interference call. That's what he will get at 4:26, and there was some extracurricular after that play as well. Once Lomberg hit the deck, what looks like Lomberg is fine, but boy, Desharnais, he puts that set of knuckles right into Lomberg's grill, and that's going to be another power play for the Flames. Lomberg, I love it because he's talking to Mendel Lomberg laughing at the bench. That's a hockey player.
Yeah, that's the kind of player he is. I know Rick Tocchet, I think, had the right reaction with the wry smile, but that's honestly a very silly penalty, isn't it?
Yeah, just not needed. You know, there's no real momentum for the Flames there, and I can understand things getting heated here. And the Flames, of course, probably still have a little bit of retaliation on their mind, but no need for Desharnais there. And so the Flames now, who are 0-1 on the power play tonight, will try to get to 50%. 10 seconds have elapsed here as the Canucks were able to chip that puck down the ice, and John's back on the old play-by-play here with 15:15 to go in the second.
So Huberdeau. Now Kadri, good touch there for Zary. That was all in one motion. Try to pick that one up. Now Huberdeau tries to get to this. Got to be careful now with Teddy Blueger. He'll just make the smart play, take a shot right on net, and get all the reinforcements set up here for Vancouver. As Calgary looks to get their second attempt on the power play. I know when you get back into your version of the play-by-play, I'll have to plug in my phone. I want to make sure I don't have everything die while we're doing the call. As this is Nazem Kadri on the right side. Kadri now, good work, keeps this cross pass is open over. Now tries to get it across. It gets absolutely destroyed. Here's a slap shot. That one goes wide. Huberdeau paid the price of trying to make a play. He made the right play there. Somehow the pass didn't hit. He definitely paid for it. As MacKenzie Weegar from 100 feet. This now recollected here for the Flames. Try to find it now for Anthony Mantha, who's got the only goal right now for Calgary. Still getting used to him in a Flames uniform. His backhand goes right to Vancouver, and they'll be able to kill some more time. Picked up down to the right side red line here for Calgary. Here's Backlund. The captain sees he's got it now, and I think he dragged himself offsides.
Yeah, just by interest of boy, Huberdeau on the bench. I'm actually glad to get the nice shot from Sportsnet right there. I thought that he might have a little bit more serious injury as he was taken down what seemed to be from behind after passing across, where the Flames probably should have scored there. And then there's a great blocker save by Shelov's. Huberdeau complaining to the referees right now. He might have a case. I'm trying not to be a homer. It did look like he got pulled down from behind after making that pass. But either way, Shelov's shuts the door, and it remains 4-1. A little bit of time left here on the man advantage for Calgary. Let's see what they can do with it.
And at least we can say that's an example of the right play that you want Huberdeau to make, the playmaker that he can be. I don't know how that wasn't converted. I think you're right. I think there was a case there. Here's opportunity. Miller with a back pass to be sauced to Besser, who's already got a couple. As Calgary is on the very edge of their second power play. I'm not going to convert here, as it's still 4-1. Try to find a cutting Coleman right to the right side dot, but that one gets picked off. Here is Besser. He'll shoot a long wrister. Big rebound. Try to toe drag shot was Heinen. Good sacrificial block there for the Flames. Able to send this down. Backlund looks like he might have got tripped. Indeed, that's the call. They'll go right back to the power play.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense to me now. I thought that Backlund got elbowed at first, and then he went down, almost flopping down. And boy, there's been a lot of physical activity. You can expect that after what happened to Kevin Rooney, who was hit with a fair and clean check by Miller in the first, but Rooney left the game after taking what looked to be a concussion. His head did make contact with those near boards, and the Flames now are just trying to recover here. It was all Vancouver the first 13 minutes to go here. In the second, it remains 4-1 for the home squad.
And my apologies. I thought that was going to be a par play as I saw a hand in the air. It must have just been offside, but it definitely was a trip that was not called. Flames could have been on the power play here, but they are not. 12:55 up to go in the second round there with you alongside Cooper Hopkins. We're going to get set to change in a moment. Garland, what a ridiculous pass from the other end of the ice. He actually got a shot attempt there. Vladar makes a 5-hole save.
Yeah, wow, that was like a video. That was out of Chell right there. That's a big old sauce. That's an extra sauce right there. That's on Uber Eats. You're paying a few extra bucks for that much sauce because that got up over everyone. And then Vladar has to close the 5-hole, does so successfully. But yeah, John, you made a great point there. As I made my comments a moment ago, I was fully confident that a tripping call would be coming. As Backlund went down, again, I said it looked like he almost flopped. I thought that's because John was right that he was pulled down. We both think he was, but the Stripes disagreed. So we hit the media break here. We get a set of commercials. And John, I like what I've been seeing from the Flames more so in this period. A couple more really clear offensive scoring opportunities. They seem to be a little bit more collected. However, when you're as far behind the 8 ball as they are at this moment, could be a hill that might be too steep to climb tonight.
I agree. That might be where we are right now. Usually, again, I could be joked as the man of predictions, and sometimes I get those right. I don't think I'm going to be getting any of those, so I'm not going to make any outlandish ones. But I agree with you. You want to be able to go ahead and try to run your offense, keep things more clean. This is a much better second period right now for Calgary.
Yeah, and listen, just sometimes it's just getting that shot clock up. You just want to get a few more on sheet loss, and they've done that. They have done a much better job of creating some legitimate chances and preventing the Canucks from really getting too many clear opportunities the other way. They've had a couple for sure. They haven't completely shut that down, but nice to see things balance out here a little bit, and maybe even if they don't close down their goal deficit, could be interesting to see if the Flames, and we've talked about this in previous seasons, my friend, just to see if the Flames can maintain that momentum and build it throughout shifts, throughout a period, and into another period. Maybe they can carry some of this positive momentum into the third. Maybe they close down the gap a little bit just to make this game look a little bit more respectable.
Yeah, I think that's the point right now. Again, you're at the point where if the Flames do get the next goal with the amount of time that's up, they have a shot at it. As you get an immediate cut, Kadri made a goal save right there as if we're going to stick on the ice. Now an opportunity for the Flames. Pick this up off the backhand. Kadri was rushing end to end as this gets knocked away. Lomberg tries to get in there, so Huska is effectively starting to mix his lines with 12:25 up to go in the second. And Kadri now toward the right side dot. Get a sauce pass. Miramonov, Kadri thought about it. Slap pass. This goes in around the embankment for Weegar. Just knuckle pucking toward the net. She lobs. It's underneath them. They'll get the whistle right when the puck just goes away from the crease.
Yeah, and Shilov's right there in the mix with a bunch of his own teammates and a bunch of the Flames. And yeah, this is probably going to prevent what's so strange to see here as the game continues. I think what happened to Rooney is going to ultimately define the entire contest. Klapka takes a couple of, make that 3
I think that's where we'll be. Sorry, I was plugging in my phone. I had to get away from some of these wires. I agree with you. I think that's right where we are right now. I'm almost at the handoff point here for you. We'll see if I can get the Flames a goal as Huberdeau tries to get this one down here. The right side boards. This will be blocked on a front. Sacrificial here for the Flames. Didn't mean to do it. And now Vancouver will send this one into their own end. Mantha tries to get to it first with Rasmus Andersson. Ball trying to protect the crease out in front of Vladar. You need to do a lot more of that. It's been a much better second period as far as that regard. As Pospisil gets 2-on-1. Quinn Hughes now. Huberdeau tries to get to it first with the 11:40 marker left to go on the second. Runner with you alongside Cooper Hopkins. Will be switching off here in a moment as it's his opportunity now. Pettersson. Get this back to defense here for Hughes. Fake the slap shot. The other defensive partner wanted it, but this will go right now to Pettersson again one more time. Hughes softly toward the net. Ball. He gets hit by Hronek as this will be recollected now for the Flames defense. Play this in across the inboards. 11:10 left to go in the second. Opportunity now one more time here for Calgary as they go and across the left side red line and send it in. Cooper, feel free to take this at any moment now as we're still working our way through the action.
All right, well, I will jump in. Thanks for the handoff, John. The Flames do have possession here in their own offensive end. That shot comes from the near point, sent in by Bede. It was a bouncing puck, goes to the left of Shelov's and skimmed just past maybe a foot or so beyond that far post. So the Flames with a little offensive zone time right here, trying to take it through the crease, and they are unable to hang on to the puck right there. It does bounce to center ice, picked up by 1-1. Mikael Backlund, a longtime Flame. He gets a pass back from Blake Coleman, who, as John pointed out earlier, had a great year last year, and I do echo his sentiment, John's, that is, that Flames are hoping 20 in red will repeat his success from last season. And there is a clearing attempt that goes just past the right of Dan Vladar's cage, and that will be an icing call with 10:13 to go here in our second period in Vancouver.
I think the message is the obvious one, and I'll make the obvious statement of the day. Go and get the next one. Zeri with a tip. I actually didn't realize right in front of Hronek hit the blade of the crossbar.
Yep, you're absolutely right, sir. That one bounces off the iron, so that's as close as the Flames have come to cutting this deficit to 4-2. But to what we were saying just a few minutes ago, John, the Flames, they're just around it a little more. It's good to see. Even when you have a 3-goal deficit here, they're still playing as if they're only down by 1. And I think that mentality matters. There's another face-off win right there. Nice job, because Mikael gets a little snapshot away. It again goes wide of Shelov's to the left. So we are exactly halfway through regulation here. 9:59 now to go in the second. 18 shots for the Canucks, 14. Make that 13 for Vancouver. Oh, boy, I'm all over myself, John. I got to shake this rust off. It's 18 for Vancouver and 13 for Calgary. And speaking of Calgary, they touch up for the icing, and it will be another offensive zone face-off for the Flames. John, a little bit of a trend here. A couple icings in a row, and the Flames putting some pressure on.
Yeah, that's good to see. That's what you want. I think we finally got that mental reset from everything that happened in the first. We talk about that at length a few times in this broadcast, and it's very understandable. But it seems like they've gone right back to business here at Calgary, and they're starting to put a little pressure on Vancouver.
Yes, they are. And so with 9:40 to go here in the second, MacKenzie Weegar, the former Panther, has been with the Flames now for a couple of years. Big contributor on that blue line. He carries all the way from one end to the other. He's going to take that risk himself. But pretty standard stuff there for number 31 in the crease for Vancouver. Shelov's with the easy saves.
I know we're going to get a chance to get to a commercial here or some kind of break, so get a chance to ask you. They just profiled Connor Zeri in a little bit of his stats, almost close to 20 goals, almost close to 20 assists. What do we expect? I know maybe not for this year. It's hard for me to quantify that with you, Cooper, but I think Zeri could look like a 30-30 type player in the future.
Yeah, I think in the future for sure. I think in this season you're going to want to see something closer to maybe a 20-30. I know that Zeri has the potential to really step up as his game grows. This is actually akin to what we were talking about with the Kraken. I mean, I think there have been enough changes on the Flames that part of me just wants to see how some of these players who are probably going to be in Flames uniforms for a good amount of time, hopefully a good number of seasons, especially these younger guys, just how they settle in with one another. You know, you kind of want to see those glimpses of who could be the top line in the future, who could be that second line. Kind of like Mikael Backlund has been. He's just been such a stalwart, and you just know what you're going to get. Who is going to be the next, not necessarily Mikael Backlund in terms of his skill set, but just what you can bring to the roster and make Craig Conroy's job a little bit easier when you say, hey, this guy's locked in. I know what I'm going to get from him.
Yeah, because again, another way of putting it, and I agree, because you're already saying the same thing on Batu, but you want to be able to start to slot guys in their respective lines based on their production and say, hey, we got a good second line player here. Hey, we got someone in the bottom six that we know that we can count on every single day. Oh, we're going to see Matthew Coronado, I'm sure, in the future here for the Flames, and I know he's still on this roster. I know they're going through the Flames equipment room right now and giving you a pretty cool shot of how they make the skates and getting all that stuff set up too. So pretty cool by Sportsnet.
Yeah, no, you're right, John. Hey, this is me for every broadcast. I, of course, miss hitting the mute button. I was just going to say, as action resumes here with 9:25 to go in the second, that shot you were talking about from Sportsnet, I got to give a tip of the cap to them. They're giving a little recognition to Flames head equipment manager Mark DiPasquale. Every single Flames game I've ever been to, he has been on the bench handling the equipment. And that is because he has been with the Flames in that role for 2,000 games, John.
Wow.
2,000 games. So we have a hand up here, which was for an offside. I thought we might see a penalty here, but the Flames are going to send a nice crisp pass through the neutral zone. Here comes Huberdeau. He's going to send it back down to, I think that's Hanzek. And there's a slap shot from the blue line. Boy, it makes me miss Michael Stone right there. That slapper didn't have everything on it, so it's picked up by the Canucks and carried away. The puck is rattled around the end boards, but no Canucks in the near corner to pick it up. And you're going to see Bean slide this thing in his own end back over to, I got to get some of these numbers right because they're new to me too as well. Well, that one's not all the way new. That's Pahal. And now the Flames, they're doing their best Canucks impression here in the second period. They're going to ice this puck inadvertently, and the vulcanized rubbers, John likes to say, is flipped up to the referee and taken down to the right of Flames netminder. That is Dan Vladar.
So MacKenzie, Weegar, Miramana, Ball, Andersson, Bean, and Pahal. That's your defensive crew right now for the Flames. What are we expecting here, Cooper, just to try to keep everything clean before we worry about the offense going forward?
Yeah, I think so. I think you just want to see, again, and these pairings are so important, right, where, you have Andersson and Weegar, really the only two Flames on the blue line who are, tenured in the franchise. So, a couple of guys have been here, Miramanov, right, and Pahal is now into his second season. And just trying to see what these two, each of these two pairings or three pairings can do in terms of supporting one another, who's out on the break, who's staying home. And I'm going to jump back in here with 7:50 to go in the second. If the puck gets kind of caught between Shelov's skates, he had to spin around, find that one, hit it with a big paddle out to the near side. Now Kadri's going to go for that forehand snapshot, and that one flutters off to the deflection and behind Shelov's. Now Kadri going to tip this one back right now. He gets the puck back again, slides it back to Weegar. Puck is behind the net, being held right there by Klapka. Sent back to the blue line. Weegar's going to fire one that's, again, I feel like I'm just on repeat here. That one is to the left of Shelov's net. 18 shots for Vancouver, 14 for Calgary. Still a 4-1 scoreline. But as John and I pointed out earlier, a much more balanced second period here. So the Canucks will take this puck from behind their own cage, try to skate this one up through the mouth of the Orca. It's going to be picked up there by Weegar, who's still out. Probably going to need to get a change here pretty soon for him. Flames try to get the puck out of their end. They do, but it's bounced right back in. Now off the glass, takes a weird carom right out in front. There's a pass back and forth, puck bouncing. Boy, probably should have just been a shot right on. Sometimes keeping it simple is the way to go, and the Canucks let a perfect scoring chance go wasted. 6:40 now on the clock. It's Coleman was pushed off the puck, but the Flames do go make that correction on my end. Rasmus Andersson has a little trouble by the boards. Boy, John, I'm having flashbacks to previous seasons. Sometimes Rasmus Andersson gets a little tied up there by his opponents, and he let that one slide across the blue line. but no harm done, as it is being held right now by Ball. So Ball sends it to Kadri, who's on his horse. He's going to take this one up, make that Kuzmenko. He's on the right side, sends it across, looking for no, I'm all over it, John. I'm all over it. So we had Pahal to Kuzmenko. Now the Canucks come back to the other end, and that one's going to be bounced off in the near corner. Kevin Ball now, still with it. Canucks looking for possession. It's bouncing back and forth. 5:50 to go here in the second. And the Flames will clear out of the neutral zone. The puck continuing to go end to end here. A little check thrown right there. The Canucks maintain possession. They're going to drop this back looking for the shot. Vladar in position. The puck slides all the way to the near boards. Now Kuzmenko with it. I can get that right. Oh, and he dances right there past Heinen. Just goes nutmeg. Puck through the skates. But ultimately, it will be taken back by the Canucks. Now it's taken by Pospisil. Back pass right there. And there is a fan shot. Boy, the Flames missing another opportunity inside the circle to put one on Shilovs. And the Flames the delayed offside right now. Shilovs is going to settle this thing down. Leaves it for Heinen. Make that Susi. And now with 5 minutes to go in the second, the puck is down to the left of Vladar. Taken right here. And carried away by the Flames through their own end. This one could be an icing call here as the puck slides across too many red lines, John. And I got to collect myself. I got to study my rosters, my friend. A couple of new faces, new numbers, new names, and making me look like an amateur over here. I got to be like a professional, like Mr. John I.
No, it's all good. It's opening night for all of us. I do want to say this. You talked about Rasmus Andersson earlier. His clearing attempted around the boards almost hit Blake Coleman right in the head. And then Shilovs, as you mentioned, lost the puck a couple times in between his skates. You think next time around the inboards, he just tries to make the easy play.
Yep, you are exactly right. I think both teams guilty here. Maybe just doing a little too much. They got the drills. They got their off-season drills in mind. Maybe one extra pass was not needed. It's okay to put it right on the cage there, gentlemen. But what do I know? I'm sitting here watching this thing and calling with John, and their skates on, sticks in hand, doing it at the highest level. So 4:20 to go here in the second. And this back pass goes over to Zary. Zary had a scoring opportunity. Tries again from that same spot, kind of low in the near circle. But that one turned aside easily by the right pad of Shilovs, who's having a good game here, John. We talked about it a little bit before, but he looks really locked in. And now a bouncing puck is going to be whistled for offside. Or no, John, are we going to get a hooking call here? Stoppage has been called. Trying to get a call. It could be a Vancouver Canucks penalty, but we're going to a break, so I guess we'll find out in a minute.
Yeah, I was trying to see what John Shorthouse was throwing across for Vancouver as we went to break. It looks like we might get one. We'll let you know when we get back into the commercial. As things were getting a little bit testy as far as some of the plays that should have been made or should not have been made. We still don't have a goal yet in the second. It's still 4-1 Vancouver. Maybe I got all those goals and Cooper can just settle in for the rest of it. Who knows? I still think we're going to see a couple more.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the Flames have been so close to it. They've been sniffing around, and I'm sure that there's at least one more on offer for them. But I wouldn't be surprised for the Canucks, whether they get number 5 first or if they answer with number 5. I think that is in the barrel as well. So still here in our timeout, and man, it's just good to be back on a call with you. I know we didn't get to do it as often last year, but I was just excited. I got off a plane, came back from Seattle to Los Angeles tonight, and I literally got dropped off, walked to the door, plugged my phone in, which you had to do a moment ago because got me juiced up, and got on the call with you. It's fun to be back doing this again, my friend.
Holy cow, man. I feel honored because you were very busy to be able to do all that, just be able to jump in today. So I really appreciate that.
Hey, listen, I love it. I love it. You got that mentality, but I'm not going to – 3 years now. I'm not going to miss it over. you know we got to – I mean, I still think back to when the Flames really took it to the Colorado Avalanche.
Yes.
And that was maybe not necessarily – I hoped personally that it would be a sign of things to come. It was ultimately not for the rest of the season, but it was a dang fun game that I remember very fondly. And, hey, even though the scoreline isn't great if you're a Flames fan, it's still great to be on the call and just to get a glimpse of this new-look team and see how they gel as we've been talking about.
Yeah, we're going to be able to follow that along here, give and take, especially for a few games. We know we're going to work more. Speaking of getting worked, It is 5-0 Winnipeg on Edmonton's home ice after 2.
My goodness. Well, you never know. We were just talking about how openers can be weird. The Flames a couple years back really took it to Colorado. Now Winnipeg's taking it to Edmonton, who was a lot of folks' favorite to finally win the Stanley Cup with Connor McDavid. But we'll see. All we got to say is thumbs up to those Winnipeg Jets. I do not hate that score. Oh, nice poke check right there by the Flames defense. Didn't get a number on that one, but it was a 2-on-1. Great active stick, prevented a potential scoring opportunity. And just another tip of the cap to Sportsnet, 10 shots. They put the stat up a moment ago. 10 shots this period for the Flames, just 3 for the Canucks. So nice to turn those tables a little bit. Nothing has come of it, but it's a good trend, if nothing else. So 3:15 here on the shot board as the puck slides all the way back to the big man, number 7, Ball, and that's a pass across through the middle of the ice, and Rasmus Andersson tried to wind up the slapper. That's ultimately deflected away. Nice block by the Canucks. Now Andersson steps in, wrister, and he fires it home, John. Beautiful shot by number 4, and it is 4-2.
That was really good work for Andrei Kuzmenko to be able to give Rasmus Andersson a couple opportunities at it. And when Rasmus Andersson got a second chance, he goes, I'm going to risk this thing. I'm not going to worry about the slap shot. That's some bar down cheese. That was beautiful.
Boy, oh boy, yeah, he goes for that big windup first, gets the puck right back, and boy, he steps to the right of Forward. Forward goes down for a block. You know what? He kind of couldn't decide what he wanted to do. Stays up high, gives that lane, and that's all Rasmus Andersson needs. And man, he did a beautiful job at wiring that thing bar down, as you said. So listen, those shots come in handy. You get that volume, and sometimes good things will happen. As now the Canucks trying to answer. They were trying to backhand one toward Vladar, but again, good poke checking right there by the Flames defenseman. And with 2:35 to go in the second on their 16th shot, of course, his first of the year, Rasmus Andersson at 17:01 makes it 4-2. Assist to Kuzmenko, who you pointed out, and the secondary assist goes to former Colorado Ave and former Toronto Maple Leaf, Nazem Kadri. So, John, here we go. Canucks probably want to get one back and get that 3-goal cushion again before they hit the dressing room. This one bounces past Vladar. Boy, he makes a little mess of it. He's down to the right of the crease now. He was trying to cover up with a big trapper, couldn't do so. The Canucks come away with possession. Now it's whipped around the near boards. Weegar trying to put some pressure on right there. That was Sherwood looking for possession. And Vladar, now we get a stoppage. It looks like we have an equipment issue. Either way, I think it's good that the Flames have gotten things whistled down here.
I would say so, because Dan Vladar, again, as you say, tried to make the safe play. That was anything but there. I imagine if Vancouver got any scoring opportunities out of that, you get a hard in your throat moment. He tries to reach back and behind as it bounced up in the air. He lost all of his equipment.
I don't know if I've ever seen that, John. Another classic Hopkins odd call where we have a goaltender who tries to catch a fluttering puck. Okay, well now sometimes they catch it, sometimes they drop it. I get that. But he lost not only his stick, he lost the glove. He lost his trapper. He's out there barehanded. Oh my goodness. Hey, let's send the Tigers out there with a catcher with no glove, John. See how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
And that catcher, you're gonna have to tell me his name again, because that man, he deserves so much respect for growing that mustache. My goodness. We're going to have to talk about that during the break. So hold your thoughts. All I know is that the Tigers catcher is a legend. So we have less than 2 minutes to go here. 1:45 to be exact. Now we have, I think, the puck being played by a high stick. No high sticking penalty, but play has stopped. John, now you have a chance. Who is the Tigers catcher? He's awesome.
Jake Rogers. He was the last piece we have left from Justin Verlander.
That is it. And what a name. A perfect name. He doesn't look like he should be a professional athlete, but he is a heck of a catcher, and he's got the best dang mustache in all of baseball. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood in good old Detroit Rock City. That is certain. So we're going to get a little offensive zone draw here for the Flames. It's going to be taken by Kadri, and the puck will be dropped right now, and it's won by Nazem Kadri. Set over to Weegar. Weegar holds. He's going to look for that pass down low. Picked up there by Kuzmenko. Tries to do some stick handling. Backhands in front, but it bounces off of the skate of Shilov's. Now coming down low for that puck is Hanzak. Hanzak wearing number 29. I was used to saying another name for the Flames, wearing number 29 for a number of years. He's no longer with the team for some inauspicious reasons, and now another stop. So a bit of choppy play here. We had some choppy play to start the second, and now a lot of whistles to close out the second as we have about 82 seconds to go before we hit the break.
I know I was going to ask you, and I guess we can lean into that in the third period, but I'll throw it out anyway. Does in any way that second goal for Calgary to make it a 2-goal game put the alarm clock on for Vancouver and say, okay, let's go?
Yeah, I think, listen, it's the first game of the season. I think now any coach worth their salt is going to say, look, you have an opportunity now to answer. We're going to have to do this later in the year where you lose momentum, right? It's part of the game, and you're going to see your opponent score on you. But how do you respond? In that first game of the season, what better time to establish your habits, right? What are your habits? And so now with exactly a minute to go, boy, Huberdeau taken down. Could have been a hook right there, but no call. 3-on-3 the other way. Canucks coming through. Looked offside to me. No whistle. Now Huberdeau comes back. Nice back check right there. He gets poke checked, and that puck scoots back to the neutral zone. We will have a whistle. Huberdeau, a little word there for the captain of the Canucks, but no fisticuffs, nothing like that. That's not Huberdeau's style. But Lomberg mixed. I love it. Lomberg, who's all of 5'8", mixing it up right now with. Now, John, you got to tell me, who is that for? That is for the Canucks.
Vincent Desharnais.
Of course it is. Of course it is. The biggest number and the biggest man, Desharnais.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of him with the Edmonton Oilers, the same ornery self that he has, but I love it. You're right. Who's going to replace some of that stuff with the vinegar that might have been lost? Well, Ryan Lomberg is going to do that. He's not going to back down from anybody.
No, he is not. He's gonna show off his shiny ring. I know he's no longer a member of the Panthers, but you can never take away the name on the cup. He is a winner for all time, and that is a big check in the far corner to the right of Vladar right there. Going down was DeBrusque, and now 25 seconds. Physical play starting to pick up again as we get closer to the end of this second period. Flames need to be smart here, carry this thing out of their own zone. They do with a cross-ice pass. Now it's chipped back into their own end. Time starting to wind down here. Looks like things, cooler heads will prevail with just a few seconds to go. But here come the Flames into that logo. They are just going to let this thing run out and make it 4-2 as we head to our second intermission, John. So a much better period for the Flames. The only goal scored by the Flames' longtime top defenseman, the sweet Swede with the hands. It's Rasmus Andersson who makes it 4-2. And we will see what the third period holds.
I think you said that right, with Nazem, Kadri, and Andrei Kuzmenko picking up the assist at 17:01. And again, I'll throw the metric out there and say whether or not the Vancouver Canucks were pacing themselves. You never know. But at least for this second 20 minutes, the Calgary Flames, I think, can take whatever happened in that first. They flushed it. That was an effective latest 20 minutes.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, especially after such a difficult first period, really in most measurable respects. They were badly outshot. They lost a teammate to injury. They made some foolish mistakes that resulted in power plays and power play goals for their opponent, et cetera, et cetera. They just looked out of sorts, as we said. They gathered themselves. A bit of a choppy start to the second period, just in terms of run of play, the flow of play. There wasn't a lot of it. But once we got into the swing of the second period, they really had the better of the play, and not just because of the goal. They had a couple of minutes there where they were forcing the Canucks into multiple icings. They had a lot more offensive zone time. You and I talk about that frequently. I think it matters so much. And they built that confidence and ultimately got a tally out of it. Just like we said, John, I'll just finish my last second period thoughts on this. You know, even if the comeback is not complete necessarily, at least they have shown themselves that they have what it takes to respond. It took them the better part of a period, but they gathered themselves. They didn't let the hole get any deeper that they were already in.
No, I agree with you completely. We will temper just the talks for a second as I replace some batteries, a little bit of technical difficulties on the recording here.
I was going to say, now, John, you sound a little far from the mic. You're a professional. You know you got to get right up to the mic. Come on. You got to get because the velvety pipes, you got to be right up to the microphone, sir. So if you need a battery timeout, you just say, Coop, I need a battery timeout. And I'll just, you know me, I love to talk. I'll just keep talking.
Yeah, we're just doing this during the intermission. It just happened to die right before the start, going into the third period. We're sitting in our second intermission.
You John, come on. You got to shoot straight with our listeners, because I don't think you were getting batteries. I think, what did you have? Did you have chicken strips in the air fryer? What's going on? Your late night snack? What's going on?
No, actually, batteries did die. So any of the recorder stuff that we have on Hopeless Sports Guy, when I want to get all of it, and I usually really do, because the intermission part of it, doing the game is fun. Intermission is always my favorite part of it, but I want to make sure it's recorded.
Oh, I know. I'm just kidding. Hey, but now I'm hungry for chicken strips.
I know.
Thanks for keeping those batteries fresh. And so here we are. 4-2 is our score, and the Flames are in the room right now, probably trying to come up with a strategy to chip away at that lead even further. And listen, at least it's interesting. If they can get one in the first, I would say even in the first half of the third period, you never know what the finish might hold for us.
No, you don't. I think the Calgary Flames have put this within striking distance, and I think this is going to be a next fun 20 minutes regardless of what happens. I know that we've had a fun cast, and I know that there's a lot to talk about. So now that everything is officially good again, let's do that. So I was supposed to get some planning stuff done tomorrow with my cousin Annette, but she turns out she's got a sinus infection. She doesn't want to infect anybody, so we were going to get the hotel and the rental car all planned. But I do need to ask you this officially now that I have you here. Did you happen to procure the hockey tickets?
So now that I'm back, I got a couple. This is actually pretty fun. I got a couple lined up that I'm looking at. So hang on. In fact, because I have my computer up in front of me. I can tell you what I'm looking at here. So yeah, I can actually ask you this in real time. This is fantastic. The listeners are going to get a real deep dive into how tickets are selected by hockey experts such as Cooper Hopkins and I. So what I'm looking at here, John, is first question: do you care? Do you want to be on the player bench side, or do you care, or do you mind if you're on the penalty box side so you can see the players? What do you prefer?
I have no preference.
Wow. Okay. In that case, okay, so we have, and I know your price range, so I won't throw it out for everyone to hear, but I know your price range. So is it a mandatory for you to be, let's say, from the top of it's like if you were a football field, it'd be like from the 30-yard line to the other 30-yard line. So that's basically like the top of the circles from one end to the top of the circles on the other end. Is that sort of or do you care if you're on a corner? I'm not going to pick an end. Don't worry. We're not going to be behind a goal. But how do you feel about where the seats are?
As long as we don't have anything obstructed and we're not sitting all the way up and having to use binoculars, I'm good with whatever you choose.
Great. Okay, so no worries about that. No obstructions.
Yes.
100 level. Okay, we're in business. Do you have any lucky section numbers that you would like me to consider?
No, I don't have any superstitions as far as lucky numbers. Again, it's my first visit alongside Climate Pledge as well, so I'm just happy to be able to go.
Okay. Well, then consider that I had a group of 4 in section 1. What section was that? That is 1. This seat, hang on. I can tell you in real time. That is section 110. Row L, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some others. Let's see. I have 4 in a corner. That's where the section 111 row. This is just me repeating what I'm seeing on my screen right here. Which I don't need to do. I won't bore everybody.
No, well, the interesting.
Tickets will be procured. I think it's only fitting since we have been on the call tonight. The tickets will be procured tonight.
That is very exciting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Alongside Cooper, I'm very happy to be doing that because we're going to be planning our trip. I am getting everything else squared away as far as immunizations, all that important stuff on Sunday. So if I am away for the next few days, going into next week, that just means I'm recovering from all the jabs.
Well, I like that you're getting prepped and ready to go, and it's going to be incredible. I mean, it'll be here before we know it. I think that you get in town, what is it, about 5 weeks from now, something like that. Maybe 5 weeks and change. Yeah.
I'm looking at the actual time here, so let me just look on my computer to put everybody up to snuff here. So it is the 13th on Wednesday, so pretty much a month from today, I will be in Seattle.
Unbelievable. And we've been talking about it for so long.
Yes.
And now it's bearing down on us. It's just right on the horizon.
Yeah, the plane tickets and everything else have been procured on that end. We just got to worry about the rental car. I know I want to get the stuff with Space Needle. We'll figure out some other things. Hopefully, I think, Cooper, the plan is for me, and I don't want to take too much of your time or Jen's time, but have the game, and then maybe like one of the other days we can go get a bite to eat or something, do a little bit of sightseeing. So at least we can get maybe like the game and then just a little bit of time on one of the other days.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, we're very excited and looking forward to to not only doing the game, but hopefully having a little outing, or whether it's a dinner or at Pike Place or whatever it is, and hanging out. And I can't believe it, but yeah, hanging out in my hometown. I get the hometown advantage. I feel good about it.
Yeah, no, that'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it because honestly, again, this might sound shameful to some people, but this would be like the first time I get to go on a trip where I don't have to go with my parents. So it's a big deal for me. I know it's different with cerebral palsy and all that too. I can still get around like everybody else, but that's why I'm really looking forward to this because it feels like an adult thing to do. I mean, we've been doing these games for a long time, and I really wanted to do this.
Yeah, you got it, my friend. It's going to be fun, and yeah, hey, no parents. The party's on. The hockey, the Kraken party is on for sure. We're going to have a great time.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with the Seattle Kraken as well. I know we talked about that, what the expectations can be, but I think it's only mandatory that if we end up going to the game that they have to win.
Oh yeah, listen. I'll make some calls. I'll send an email. I'll make it clear that Joe. And with that in mind, do you have any? So we know that you're pretty open regarding the seats, but do you have any requests? Any final scores that you would like the Kraken to win by?
Yeah, if we're going to do that, let's go with it. I want to see Connor Bedard make a couple plays, so they'll get a couple goals. I'm gonna spot the Chicago Blackhawks too, but let's say Seattle breaks out of their shell, they score some goals. Let's go 5-2 Kraken.
Oh, that's funny. I knew you as soon as you said 2 for Bedard. I knew you'd go with the 5 spot. I knew because we need to get at least 1 and 1 for Matty Beniers. He's got to have 1 plus an assist. I think we got to have at least 1 breakaway save. I don't care if it's Blackhawks making a save or the Kraken making a save. And other than that, I'm agnostic. We got to get 2 for Connor Bedard, 1 and 1 for Matty, and then everything else is great as long as we finish 5-2. Then we'll be golden.
When I looked at the Blackhawks roster, and I know we talked about a little bit too, Cooper, as well, about them trying to make the next couple steps alongside Bedard and get some reinforcements. You get Taylor Hall back from the ACL. You sign Tyler Bertuzzi. You bring in Alec Martinez. Teuvo Teravainen comes to town as well. I understand Chicago is still dealing with some things, but this is a much better roster going forward.
Yeah, it is. I think, look, I'm not saying they're a direct mirror of one another, not by any stretch, but I am really interested. You mentioned the Canadians earlier. I think there are going to be, and there are every year, there are going to be a couple of franchises, and I think it's the Canadians and the Blackhawks included, just the fact that we brought them up tonight. They fall into that category of, I think, rising teams, right? Just exciting, still young, still defining who they are going to be. And you might have to even argue that the Flames fall into that category as well. They might be at the top end of that category, but I think they still fall into that category. They're rising teams. You'd like to see a better performance than what you saw last year. Doesn't have to be massive, but really it's more about the sum of the parts, right? Can Bedard settle in a little bit more? Can the Canadians' young players get a little bit more confidence? Can the Flames gel as this new look roster? We love the contenders. We love knowing what the top heavy teams are going to do, but it's also exciting to see teams that have struggled for a little bit start to come out of the cellar.
No, I agree because, look at the same side for GM Mike Greer and the San Jose Sharks. We've been able to talk about them for a long time, but they're still in the process where they could be in the basement. Again, from some of the teams that we brought up, they might be able to, I'm not going to say shock and make noise, but they're going to become irritants. Look at the Utah Hockey Club, the former Arizona Coyotes. That was a team that already had a lot of irritant problems, and they're pretty good right now. They're a good young squad.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and that's why I'm still wrapping my head around that too. It's it just feels so odd to have.
It does.
To have no team in Arizona, but that's the way it goes. I'm sure the hockey fans in Atlanta want to have a third time's the charm situation after, of course, this very Flames team moved so many years ago, and then the Thrashers experiment didn't work all that well. But you never know. I do think that expansion's on the horizon. Who knows? Maybe Arizona gets another shot at it. Maybe Georgia does as well. But either way, it's exciting to have Utah, but it's still just an oddity at this point for me.
It is. I will say from what I saw yesterday, I know it's basic and they're still trying to figure a name of the team, but at least the jerseys that I saw yesterday, even though they look basic, they look really clean.
They do. I'm curious to see. I mean, obviously this season's going to be this season, and then I think the belief is that they will change their name moving forward. However, you never know. They might just choose to go with the clean look and the clean name, Utah Hockey Club. Nothing wrong with that. But I think there's some rumblings that there might be in their second season and beyond. A mascot, official logo, etc. But love the black uniforms. Not too similar to the Kraken. At first, I was a little worried. Would it be too similar with that kind of light blue motif? But no, I think they stand out in a good way.
I think so too. We're looking across any kind of scoring updates. Avert your eyeballs again for the Edmonton Oilers. For your fans on that side, it was a tough start last year against Vancouver when they got trucked 8-0. Well, right now they're losing 5-0 on home ice to the Jets. Rasmus Kupari, Dylan Sandberg, and Kyle Connor joined the party. And now as we go through some of their commercial breaks as well, I think ESPN has a new commercial side for what they're showing. It kind of scares me. All you see is a bunch of windows and wind sound.
Interesting, but hey, all I will say is, what a statement here to open things up. And maybe there's just a little bit of could be a little bit of Stanley Cup hangover. I'm not entirely sure. Don't want to assume anything, but yeah, that 5-0 scoreline is serious, and Oilers fans will be none too pleased about that. But if we remember, I don't think I'm misremembering. The Oilers struggled out of the gate last year a little bit as well. Is that right?
They won one of their first 11 games.
Okay, yeah, thank you. No, I was being a little bit facetious there. That was me trying to be polite to my Albertan rival. But yeah, that was a big disaster. Alarm bells going off like crazy, and then we saw what happened. They were one game away from the ultimate prize. So, the first game does not tell the whole tale. Still, how Oilers Nation can be. I don't think that the comments are going to be. Don't think they're going to be too friendly after, especially if this remains a shutout to start the season.
Just one more poke for me, Cooper, and I know that you're not going to mind it, but it was something that we talked about in the postseason as well. Even though the Oilers were a game away from lifting the Stanley Cup, Stuart Skinner pulled stops just 8 of 13.
It remains. I mean, look, and even after going all the way as far as they went, fighting back after being down 3-0 in the Stanley Cup final and really making that a series for the ages, making the Panthers work for it. Skinner, he had some great moments. He really focused in when it mattered, but my goodness, it still remains. I just don't know how it's such a strange balance where you have a goaltender who is clearly very talented enough to take his team as far as they went and be a major piece of that success, but also being such a liability at the same time, Maybe it's just a lack of focus as they come into a new regular season. That's a long road, John. They played a lot of hockey.
Yes.
They played about as much hockey as you could possibly play, and they were left with effectively nothing. And as famously known now, Connor McDavid not even wanting to return, understandably not wanting to return to the ice for what he felt like was a consolation prize, the Conn Smythe. And so maybe Skinner is just feeling it a little bit. Maybe he's looking ahead at that schedule and seeing all those months and all those games and all that travel. But that's what the great teams have to do, and that's what you have to do to maintain that success is you got to focus in. So who knows, John? Maybe it'll be just a one-off, and the Oilers will get back to their winning ways right away. Either way, kudos to the Jets coming out and taking care of business.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to say this other thing, too, because I look at it now. Travis Dermott, Ty Emerson, then Kulak and Nurse is mixing on the D side. And then you also have guys like that you brought in, and Victor Arvidsson, Podkolzin, Ryan, Jeff Skinner. There's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of offense. We knew that they can do that, but can they lock down on defense as they did? We're going to get settled here for puck drop in the third.
Yes, indeed. And why don't we split this up 10-10? I'll just keep on rolling here, John. You want to take the conclusion?
Sure.
Okay. Good deal, because I feel like the Oilers right now. I've made some mistakes there in my half of the second. I got to lock it in, my friend. You're the Jets and I'm the Oilers. And I don't love comparing myself to the Oilers anytime. So I got to step my play up as the puck has been dropped here. The Zambonis are back and put away, and the ice is nice and fresh, and we are rolling in the third period in Vancouver, 4-2. Canucks with the 2-goal advantage right now. The only goal scored in the second by Rasmus Andersson, Flames defenseman, who's out there right now with a fellow Swede. Flames captain in second season with the C, Mikael Backlund. Flames doing a good job getting a couple of bouncing pucks from the blue line down to Shelovs. They're holding possession here of where they were up until a moment ago. And now the puck slides to the neutral zone and back into the Flames end. So the Flames with ball doing a lot of the driving, a lot of the breakouts right here. And then that puck slides just beyond the stick. Thought there was going to be an offside call of Kadri trying to enter the zone, but he did so just barely successfully. 60 seconds have elapsed here. It's Cooper Hopkins on the play-by-play currently with the one and only John Ott. And there is a puck that slides all the way to Vladar and a shot right on. Boy, that was the first goal getter of the game, Daniel Spronger. The old Sprong, he fights his way through a check and doesn't get all of it, but he puts that puck on Vladar and the glove save is made.
Every time I watch Daniel Sprong, he makes something happen. It makes me wonder why he always bounces around amongst NHL teams.
It's a great question. He's been very visible tonight in very good ways. He almost made it 5-2 right there, and that was just individual effort, both physicality and skill to get that shot off. And that I love it. Another good stat. Thank you, Sportsnet. The 15th player in Canucks history to score his debut on the power play. So that's a nice reminder as well that first goal of the year for the Canucks scored on the power play by 91 in blue, Daniel Sprong. So now we've got 18:30 to go here in the third. Lots of road here for the Flames to try to continue their comeback. It's a partial 3-on-2 the other way. Boy, a bounce. Oh, there's a bounce right to the Canucks, and that one was deflected and put on by DeBrusk. And I'm not sure if he got the stick blade on it fully, but either way, it had to be turned aside by Vladar with that right pad. Now one of the Flames goes down. His stick goes sliding as well. Flames keep possession in the O zone, but cannot hang on to the puck. It's taken away by the home squad. So 20 shots now for Vancouver, 16 for the Flames. And the puck is knocked back around for Calgary by Pahal, and now 3-on-2 the other way. There's a pass to the center. It slides all the way to Huberdeau, who's on the right side, and then near boards. He gets pushed in the near corner. Possession battle right now along that first row of seats, and the puck bounces off the dasher. It's going to go to Rasmus Andersson. That pass across is shot on from the point and saved by the blocker of Shelovs. Now a pass back out to the circles. It's going to slide all the way back to the blue line. Is it kept in? Yes. And now Klapka sends it through. And that shot, John, is in the back of the net. And all of a sudden, Martin Pospisil, from the wrister between the circles, has made it a one-goal contest.
Hey, Cooper, I know we said this going in. It's always fun to do the openers and work together, but now aren't you really glad that we did this one? The Flames have made this a game. That's a fantastic shot for Pospisil. Let me take another look at this right now as Huberdeau gets us a left side red line. Good touch pass, Pospisil. Working around the inboards. We'll be the recipient of it now, and that's a seam of a shot right in between the circles.
Man, oh man, that is beautiful. Ball gets out of the way. That was a clean look, a nice little lane for that shot. And what a smart choice by Pospisil. Once he got the puck on his stick, he saw Sheeloff make that subtle move, sliding right to left. And he fires it back across the movement of the goaltender and finds the twine. The Mantha and Ball assists on the Pospisil goal. It is now a hockey game, John, 4-3. And a lot of road to go here in the third period. Canucks hanging on now to a 1-goal lead. Flames have 2 unanswered over the course of the second period and now early in the third. Now there's a shot out from the back in the trapezoid. That pass came out and was snapped on at the top of the left circle. And good job right there by the Flames to settle that puck down after it rattled around and get it back down to the other end. So 17 shots for Calgary, 3 goals, 21 shots for Vancouver, and 4. Flames looking to pick up possession here in their own end. And we do have a stoppage for offside, I believe. So, man, John, the complexion of this game has really changed.
Yes, it has. And I think we can go back and say the statement of the day, correct? How big were some of those saves from Dan Vladar in the first period? This should not be a 1-goal game.
No, it shouldn't. And right there, Hronek, I believe, was stopped by Vladar on a really clean shot. That was the play from the trapezoid that I was trying to describe right there. And a great positioning again from Vladar. He has been very significant. I know 4 goals have gone by him, but he's made a ton of really timely stops. So just about 4 minutes have elapsed here in the third period. Flames have scored the only goal so far in that time frame. Now Backlund trying to dance around and maintain possession. He'll do a good job right there trying to find Coleman. Puck bounces around up and over, I think, the net potentially. And Sheeloff finds it with the glove and he closes it for the whistle.
I'm not sure how Sheelov's actually got that one, Cooper. I think he had eyes legitimately in the back of his head as it bounced over. He must have just felt it there as it fell right into the glove.
Yeah, really impressive play. I didn't see the puck slide out around the net. I think it did pop up and over. I think he got an eye on it just at the last second, freezes it, gets that face-off. But the Flames have an opportunity here in the offensive zone.
If you get an opportunity now during your live play-by-play at the Flames tied, you might as well just take the entire third. That's my deal to you.
Okay, I will shake on it hypothetically.
Okay.
I don't want to jinx anything. We'll see what happens. But I like where your head is, and I like where the Flames have positioned themselves here, and they seem to have a lot of jump in their game right now. As the Canucks battling and do take over possession in their end, clear it out, but only to the red line. Now Rasmus Andersson takes on 2 Canucks, make that 3 right by the penalty boxes, and the puck will squirt back towards Sheeloff. It's taken right there by the Canucks, skated around, and now up the far boards goes Captain Hughes, the youngster. Is going to try to take it all the way. Good active stick right there by the goal scorer, Pospisil. He's got that big, long lumber, takes it away from the Canucks, and now he's going to try to get the puck back himself at the near half boards. Puck passed across is deflected off of a stick blade by the Canucks. Now at the blue line, flirted in by the Flames. Open goal, trying to wrap around. And that one's going to get all the way back to the blue line, but the Flames hold possession. Good job right here in the O zone. Less than 15 to go. And as I say it, the Flames give up possession, and it's skated out to center ice. Going to be line changes, at least for the Canucks. I think the Flames get a partial change as well. Now Anthony Mantha pushed off the puck, but not before he sends the puck deeper, trying to find Huberdeau. The Canucks will take this away. Huberdeau unable to get possession, and this one flutters off the glass and now is sent along and into the Flame zone. A little bit of a loose puck right there, but Backlund, leave it to the captain to settle things down. There's that leadership right there on the ice, and Flames looking for a cross-ice pass. Won't get it. It's rattled around the boards right now with 14:20 on the clock. Referee has to dance out of the way of that one at the far corner, and at the far half boards now the puck will be knocked all the way down, and it twists its way toward Vladar. He puts the paddle down on the ice, but no danger. And this puck's going to be sent all the way along. No icing there. Must have taken a deflection along the way. And the Canucks, Tyler Myers, is going to send this one across to the near side where it's sent in. That will be no icing there. It was a little close, but he had apparently touched up the red line. There's a whiffed one-timer right there boy, Sherwood was really trying to wind up, and he got almost nothing, just nicking the back of the biscuit. So 13:40 now in the third. Remains 4-3 Vancouver. They got those 4 goals all in the first period. Flames with one in the first, second, and third. Now the Flames coming in just offside. I think at the far end there. Boy, Kuzmenko disappointed, looking for a 3-on-2. But Flames really with the tables in their favor, turned in their favor right now, John.
Yeah, I think that's a bullet dodge in the offside there for the Canucks because Kuzmenko had a couple other players off the rush. And it looked like the Flames are starting to look dangerous. 13:33 left to go in the third as we go to break.
Yeah, you said it, my friend. And listen, I might give it back to you. We'll see how things look in the next 3.5. I've called a couple of goals here, and they were really nice. Both of the goals, boy, the Flames just with a couple of pretty shots that found their way past Shilovs. You got to say, both Pospisil and Rasmussen, they're showing the mitts tonight. They've made it look good.
Yeah, there's been a lot of clinical ones. On the other side for the Canucks, again, there's been clinical and those close quarters right on top of the crease on some of that in the first. But we're not seeing the Canucks display that measure of speed that they had in the first period. The Flames have been able to play right with the Canucks, and they're not only in striking distance now, they're in a threat of actually tying this one.
Yeah, and listen, I know we go over this from time to time. I think now might be the opportunity. Is there anything specific you want to see from the Canucks to either just gain things back in their favor or try to put another one behind Vladar?
I think really what I want to see from the Canucks right now, I know that they still have a goal lead, but I do think they have to get back on some sort of offensive pressure. It seems right now that the Flames are playing with this puck a little bit too much for my liking on their side.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those simple truths, right, where you're spending too much time on one side of the ice. And this was the case certainly for the Flames in the first period. They just didn't have a lot of offensive zone time, and that is completely flipped now. And again, it's, we're not talking the Canucks. They still have a lead. The Canucks aren't hanging on by a thread by any means, but they really haven't had a ton of noticeable possession, a little bit of less confidence. They do have a couple of shots this period. We're back here with some of the replay packages, and I think that Chronic shot was really the cleanest of this third period so far. But Flames really making things look good over the past couple of periods.
Yeah, because we're talking about 6 in total, thinking of Sportsnet over the last maybe 30 minutes or so of action.
Yeah, absolutely right. And so we have 13:20 here. It's Cooper Hopkins on the call along with John Ott. And you may get a switch. It depends on what happens with this score line, or you might get me the whole way. And if so, I apologize. So here we are. 7 minutes gone now in the third. The Flames with the only goal from Martin Pospisil. A nice wrister with that left-hand forehand that went up and over the blocker of Shilovs just a couple of minutes ago. And now battle for the puck in the Canucks end of the ice. The puck will trickle along that yellow dasher all the way to the far corner. Canucks chasing it down here. Good forecheck right there. Boy, someone who's been noticeable in this period has been Jonathan Huberdeau. He gets taken down. No call right there. I thought I might have seen a hook, but now we do have a whistle. John, what's the situation? Is Sherwood going to go to the box, or do we have an offside?
I think Kiefer Sherwood might go to the box according to his body language. And if I'm Jonathan Huberdeau, I get to say this in a positive light. I think he's drawn 3 penalties today and only got rewarded for 1.
Yep, you are correct, my friend. And there was Mantha who got a little bit of a knee-to-knee contact right there. And this was Huberdeau downed by the stick of Sherwood. He knew it right away. He tried to fight it, but it's going to be a major opportunity for Calgary. Tripping Sherwood in the box at 7:18, 2 minutes. Man advantage coming up for Calgary. John, what do you think?
Do we need to see a goal here, Cooper? Because I know we haven't had one yet for Calgary in the third power play. I just want to see them run some efficient power play and get some shots.
Yeah, listen, they've been able to do it 5-on-5, and normally that's what we're asking for, right? You can expect the team to get some decent ozone time with an extra man, but usually it's a little harder to come by at even strength. I think the Flames haven't had the best power play. They were in the lower portion of the league last year. Let's just see if they can establish possession, win a face-off. Let's get some cross-ice passes, and some good movement down low. Just the basics. Let's start with the basics and build from there. And you know what? They just did it. They won that face-off. So the puck has been dropped. A few seconds are elapsed. Shot from the top of the circle. Bounces off the skate right there. Flames trying to hang on to possession. Forechecking along those near boards. It bounces. Nice save right there being kept in by Calgary. Now it's to the right of Shilovs, to the half boards on the far side. Back to the trapezoid. It's being held by Huberdeau. Fakes that pass. Goes back across. Now back to Huberdeau. Huberdeau, there's a slapper. That one's diving by, he's dove on by Shilovs. I think he thought he would catch it, but it bounced off a body. And now with 30 seconds gone, Flames have held the possession this entire time. So, John, check on those check boxes we were talking about. Now I think all that's left to do is get some clean shooting lanes and get that fourth goal behind Shilovs. Can they do it in the next 1 minute and 12 seconds? Now Weegar tries to go center ice. Weegar gets the puck right back. He's going to go through traffic, and that one bounces off a body all the way to the netting. So, boy, Weegar frustrated. I think he saw a lane there, John. But either way, Calgary with a good start to this man advantage.
Yep, and I think we see right now from Vancouver, especially in this third power play from the Flames, it's a passive box. So they're going to give the Flames a lot of room to work with on the outside. Keep that puck movement crisp. And, man, that slapper from Weegar, that just went wide as Kadri got cleaned out in front and a cross-check from Miller.
Yeah, you are correct. There's been some physical play, that one on the edge, but hey, it is hockey, so you know what? We have 1 minute and 6 to go here. Still 17 shots for the Flames. Another clean ozone win. There's a shot, John, and the game is tied. The game is tied on a wrister from distance. I don't know what happened, but Weegar is down to the right of the cage, but the goal is in the back of the net, and it is a tie. Make that Kuzmenko down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he got a stick up high, but John, either way, it is 4-4 Calgary with 3 unanswered.
Yep, I think Kuzmenko is going to be okay, all things considered. And you know what? Again, with the goal, you might be talking about another power play as the mouth guard gets taken out. I'm not sure what they're looking at on the other side for Rick Tocchet. I think this one is going to be all good. Right in off the draw. Here's an opportunity as we look at the shot go. And Kuzmenko gets cleaned out, and this puck is in the net. Flames tied this one up.
Wow, John, another incredible wrister. I mean, that one is dialed as dialed gets.
Yep.
That one was post to find the twine. Weegar, who had just missed an opportunity with a slight deflection, the shift prior, he stays on the ice. He gets his man to go down early, and then he sends one ringing off the iron, both sides. John, this is a tied hockey game. We got another classic season opener with the Flames.
Yeah, we do. And again, I'm glad you said it that way. Keep in mind, folks, this was 4-1 at the end of one, with all the tumultuousness, with the injury, with all the fights, the intrigue, and the Flames. They kept their heads clean, their nose down the rest of these 2 periods. Right now, we're tied.
We are tied. Boy, yeah, you are right. We talked a lot about it. That first period was nothing short of a mess for Calgary, and it looked that way in every respect. And Weegar fired up on the bench. We're getting a close-up on the Sportsnet feed from him right now. He's got some choice words in terms of motivation. A couple of F words here and there, but you know he is fired up. That's an F word. We can say that F word, John. That is the first, make it second goal from the defense on the Flames, and they had 52 goals by their defenders last year. That was the most in the league, and they are well on their way to matching or beating that number again. So, John, I then probably have to hand this thing back off to you here because I need to hear the real pro take it. I'll give it to you in a minute, but right now we do have action. 18 shots for Calgary, 21 for Vancouver. It is now, yes, indeed, a tied hockey game, and the Canucks now with the possession in the near corner on the Flames side. Vladar tight to his right post. Pospisil fighting for the puck with Pedersen right here. The Canucks come away with it, trying for a short side shot. That one bounces off the outside of the cage, I believe. Now 10-40. There's a shot from distance. It bounces. Could be a 3-on-2 the other way. Here come the Calgary Flames. This one backhanded across. There's a shot from the top of the circle, and that one's going to be turned aside. Well done by Shilovs right there. He's collected himself after letting a few in, and they have been absolute snipes. But he has let a few in, and that's been 3 unanswered, which results in our 4-4 scoreline. So, John, next stoppage, I'll probably pass this mic, proverbially speaking, back to you. And that's the 19th shot for Calgary, starting to even up that shot board. They've looked really good. Bouncing puck goes through the neutral zone. Not enough juice on it for an icing, though, so the Canucks will have to chase it down. They pick it up in their offensive zone, pass across Vladar with the paddle down on the ice. But he's doing a good job of checking on getting back to the back check right there. Less than 10 now. Good hit behind Vladar, trying to get a number on that one. It was Kadri. Kadri throwing the body. He puts Weegar down. Now a shot from the point. Rebound is behind Vladar and sent away. I think that was Kadri again. No, he's skating away with it. I'm going to have to see it on replay, John. And there is a frozen puck out of the air. It's snagged by Shilovs. That was behind Vladar at the other end. Saved by one of the Flames. My goodness.
I don't want to tempt fate here, Cooper. I'll be happy to take the call if you want to. They did tie it up. They've looked really good. This one's going to come down to the stretch. I think Alec Nava is joining in after calling the Dodger game, so why not? We'll be done to make this a trio for the rest of the way?
Oh, I think so, if only because if you notice, Alec has arguably the best profile picture on Twitter right now. That's all I'm going to say. Welcome to Alec Nava. This is a heck of a game, Alec. How was your call, and do you know what's been going on with this crazy hockey game?
Well, I just came into and I saw it was 4-1 at one point. Now it's tied up at 4-4. Are you serious right now? These Calgary Flames are really coming back on the mighty Vancouver Canucks, who have Stanley Cup aspirations. Calgary's supposed to be a rebuilding team. What is happening?
Boy, great question, sir. And they looked like a rebuilding team in that first period. It was really ugly, and especially after one of their forwards, Kevin Rooney, takes a hard hit from JT Miller. It was a clean hit, but Rooney's head did collide with the boards. It looked, again, we are speculating. We don't have details. It was a serious moment. It looked like he lost consciousness for just a split second. Could be a concussion situation. He was able to leave the ice under his own power, but was clearly dazed, and that just sent the Flames spiraling, for lack of a better term. It was a difficult period if you were a Flames fan, and the Canucks took advantage. They did what they needed to do, but John, you can jump in. This is what you and I talked about on the call. Little by little, they built their game back. They built a little bit of momentum. They started to limit shots. They created opportunities for themselves, and then skill started to, once you do the work, skill can take over. Rasmus Andersson with a snipe, Pospisil with a snipe, Weegar now in the third power play snipe, tied.
I mean, we could talk about it in between Dan Vladar and Arthur Shilovs. You mentioned a 4-4 game. These goaltenders on both sides, 3 of those, and both were not stopped. I mean, even the MacKenzie, Weegar, Rasmus Andersson, you're talking about off the post and in from good shooting angles just outside the circles. This game has had everything. I like the game that we covered yesterday had everything. Let's just add on top of it.
Yeah, it did have everything. You have the entertainment value with the fights. You had the offensive value with the Panthers dominating that first period to the Bruins attempting a comeback, even though they were 2 goals shy of such. As Ivan Barbashev, he does a nice Sidney Crosby backhander meanwhile. Well, the game in which I covered didn't have much. It was all Dodgers, but there seems to be a pattern in between. Close game into odd-number games. Blowout into even-number games. It feels like a funky little pattern here in the in-between.
Here's a chance for the Flames, and they score right out in front of the net.
Yes, indeed. I cannot believe it, but the Flames have scored goals on their last 4 out of 5 shots. It's Jonathan Huberdeau, who's had an incredible period. He's been noticeable in all the best ways. Drew the penalty that led to the Weegar goal, and John, it is now 4 unanswered for the visitors. Calgary leads 5-4.
That is perfect there for Jonathan Huberdeau, because what does he do? He works his way right in the net. He spins off Carson Soucy. They send the rubber to the net. No chance for Shilovs, and that's a tap-in. It was 4-1. It's 5-4 Calgary.
Unbelievable. That's the bumper slots. Usually that's occupied by Sam Reinhart in Florida. Jonathan Huberdeau's playing that net front spot that some other net front players dominate at the front of the paint. And he is right there waiting for that puck to come to him and banks this right in. Braden Pahal, nice setup as well. If this is the first of many for Huberdeau in a bounce-back year, so be it. I'd be banking on a bounce-back year for Huberdeau.
100%, Alec. That's a great comment. And for Huberdeau to get his first in Game 1, I think matters a lot. He has been not the same player since coming over from Florida, and I know he's taken a little bit of heat for it, but Flames fans still believe he can be one of the top players in this league, and he has looked great. Even prior to that goal, He has looked great, especially in this third, but he's been really showing the top end of his play. And man, oh man, he's been setting up teammates. He's drawing penalties. He's even throwing the body a little bit, not afraid to get physical. So could we see a resurgent Jonathan Huberdeau? Either way, the Flames surging right here. The surge continues with 8:15 to go. Now 20 shots, 5 goals. Boy, they're scoring on a quarter of their shots. Just get that thing on net, and good things are going to happen. Now the Canucks come the other way. And John, I don't mean to step on your toes if you did want to take over. I'm just rolling with this thing as the Flames continue. Now bouncing puck there. It's past Vladar. Excuse me. I thought he might have that in the trapper, but the puck did continue on to the far boards. Inside 8 minutes to go now. The physical play continues. That's Pahal with a big hit. He threw the body right there on Miller. No surprise there that number 9 was the target. Now the Flames are going to take possession here and really slow the pace down. They want to control the tone. They want to control the pace, the decision-making in this game, and they will send it to the near boards. Stretch pass right there all the way up to Klapka, and Klapka with a nice job on the forecheck. Pospisil as well. Don't make that longer. He throws a huge hit. You know he's going to, and that was Ratti taking the brunt of that one. The Flames now lose possession in their own end. Goes back to the blue line. Vladar has to make a save with a blocker all the way from that blue line to his crease. Now it's tapped in by Klapka. Klapka going to chase down his own dump and follow. So he gets possession. Now Pospisil winds and fires, and Klapka throws a hit there as Shilovs freezes play. 7:03 to go. Flames, John and Alec. I can't believe I'm saying this after what we saw earlier. Flames in control.
Yeah.
Never would have thought of it.
No, they look like in complete control, Cooper. This game has been a complete 180 right now. Again, full credit to Ryan Huska and company, because this game could have completely gone one way. Hell, we talked about it last season alongside Edmonton and Vancouver in game 1 and an 8-0 skunking that Vancouver was able to deliver. They were almost on their way for a game that was somewhat similar. Calgary has fought all the way back. They pretty much got even on the shot board, but they've taken the lead on the scoreboard. It's 5-4. Cooper, if you want to take us home, you can. If not, I'll jump in.
Yeah, John, honestly, I think it's a perfect spot right here. We got a shot at Huberdeau back out on the ice, and I just saw a couple of Canucks fans leaving. I don't think they're going for a cerveza. It looks like they're heading out here with less than 7. So with Huberdeau trying to fight with possession with Pospisil, he was on the ice for the Canucks. John, go for it, my friend.
So let's see. We'll try to see if the Flames can take this all the way back and take 2 points in the opener against Vancouver. Make no mistake about it. This is a very good hockey team, and they kind of, maybe you can say, took the foot off the gas, but the Flames, they never relinquished themselves from their game plan. And here they are. Here's an opportunity now. This gets picked off by Danton, Heinen, Quinn Hughes. Where's the answer going to be? Captaincy can definitely get it done, as we will get a whistle with 6:28 in the third.
I would believe offside is the call for that.
Yep, Alec, you're right. And just really quickly, Alec, who did the most damage for the Dodgers there? I wasn't able to look in and check out the box score. Were we looking at long balls? Was it small ball? How'd they get those 8 runs?
Long ball was the name of the game. It's mostly the first 3 batters. Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Teoscar Hernandez. They did not have Freddie Freeman for this game. He and Miggy Rojas were out with injuries. They're at the $1 million questions. Will Freddie Freeman be available for Game 5? That's one thing. The second $1 million question, who will be the Dodgers starting pitcher in Game 5? Because we know that Yu Darvish may be the starter in Game 5, but it was long balls. 3 home runs by the Dodgers in this game, and they completely out-hit the Padres 12-7. The Padres didn't even get to third base until the 7th inning.
Wow.
Oof. That is wild stuff. Well, we'll see if San Diego can rebound, and we'll see what the Canucks can say about this game with just over 5 minutes to play here. John, keep it going, my friend.
So Shilovs now makes the plays. The Canucks try to take this right to left. They've been able to do that a lot. It's been the Flames puck. Ball gets around the post positioning here, gets behind the boards. This will matriculate right to the Flames as they try to go left there with Rasmus Andersson. This good seam pass from 70. You got Klapka on the offside wing as this bounces off Shilov's left pad. He will hold. We'll get a stoppage with 5:25.
Yeah, John, I just want to say that as we can take a little media break here, Huberdeau, I love that slow motion of him giving the fist bumps to the team, as is, of course, tradition. In hockey, you got to go celebrate with the boys. And, man, he's looked really strong Of course, I've loved what I've seen from Pospisil tonight. But you know what? I also got to say, it's that classic unsung hero role that he took on so well for the Flames. Then, of course, the Panthers in their championship run, and now back with the Flames. Ryan Lomberg making a difference. He's out there throwing the body, eating up good minutes for his energy line. I love that 70 is back in red.
Yeah, I think there is a take no prisoners mentality that you have to be able to bring back into the lineup when you lose guys like Nikita Zadorov, who normally kind of played that role, correct?
Yeah, I think so. And, and Zadorov had some of, obviously one's a defender and one, of course, is a forward, but they take on those similar styles, right? Where I think it's throw that body first. Let's play physical first. Let's inspire the team. Let's work hard in limited minutes. But when we get the opportunity, and listen, Lomberg knows how to score. He knows how to score if given the opportunity. It's not always his number one job, but if the puck finds him, and if he finds an opportunity, he's going to make the most of it. And that was what Zadorov tried to do as well. And as we said earlier, I'm looking forward to rooting for him from a distance. I hope he does really well with the Bruins.
I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself here. Let's see if the Flames can go ahead and get 2 points. But I do think you go into the home opener potentially on Saturday and say, hey, we got 2 points in the back pocket against the Canucks. Or we find a way to at least fight for something, and you get Dustin Wolf in there on Saturday. You might have something to feel really good about, and the fans be pretty excited.
Yeah, 100%. Since we're just talking about Zadorov, as we see the replay here of Huberdeau getting the go-ahead goal for the moment, I'm sure the Canucks wouldn't mind if Nikita were still on their roster right now. I think he would be giving the Flames fits, as he certainly did when he was on the Flames, giving the opponent fits. But there's a nice clean face-off win in the O-zone and a shot from distance that bounces behind Shelov's 520. John, hit that play-by-play.
So the Canucks now try to pick this up now with big Tyler Myers. Again, Vancouver just trying to run their offense as Calgary has gotten pretty even on the shot board. Here's a chance off the back pick, and Myers was there at the last second to get support, as is JT Miller off the spin and turn. He's getting all dispossessed in behind the players' bench, and we will get another whistle. There's been a lot of that lately. We got 5 minutes left to go.
Has it been a recurring theme or whenever you've been at the call in that second period?
Yeah, it's been happening a lot. I get a lot of stoppages right now early in this 24-25 season.
Yeah, it gets a little choppy from time to time, but eventually the teams figure it out. And I think we have an icing call coming up. Yes, we do. Inside 5 minutes now, John, and Flames going to get another O-zone draw.
Cooper, I never thought I was going to say this, but are we maybe 2 minutes or so away from the Vancouver Canucks letting Shelovs exit the cage?
Yeah, see, look, you guys have done so much work together. We've done so much work together, and now we've had a number of games where all three of us have been on the call. I think we were all thinking that. If I had to guess, if I were a betting man, I'd say we're all wondering, when does that goalie go to the cage? No, excuse me, back to the bench from the cage. But either way, it's going to happen relatively soon if the Canucks cannot find a game-tying goal here, and they got about 4 minutes and 25 seconds to do so.
Pettersson now try to find it. This bounces off of Anthony Mantha, who scored a very beautiful shorthanded goal to get the Flames the first one of the year. Now toward the left side red line, Pettersson will backhand it safely in. Opportunity now for MacKenzie Weegar to try to push this one ahead. Then the left side bounces off of Mantha, but the Flames are there in support, just trying to make sure that they can hold on here. I mean, they fought all the way back. They've taken the lead. This would be a big 2 points to get. I don't care if it's just game one, because they were down 4-1. There was a lot to talk about at the end of the first period. That was a whole game in itself. Here's a full sail clear, 150 feet. JT Miller is going to beat the icing. Connor Garland's got it now, but he throws it right to the Flames. They'll effectively be able to kill some more time as this bounces a couple more times off of a long flip, and the Flames will go ahead and get to this one first. And near the right side, Connor Zary tries to find it. Now this will be with Rati as he dumps this one in. Kevin Ball will get this across the end boards now. Flames don't want to get too far ahead as they're just trying to get this from zone to zone. This will be sent back down, but not far enough for icing. 24-21 on the shot board, but it's 5-4 Flames. We're down 4-1, and they're 3-10 away from maybe getting 2 points here as is picked up now for Ball. When are they going to go ahead and pull the goalie on the other side? That's the question. And Vancouver had 4 goals in the first, and they still have to have this conversation. Klapka absorbs the hit from Soucy as it goes back down to Tyler Myers. We still see Shilov's in the crease. Tyler will spin. Gets the call there from Soucy. 2:45 as the lines are fresh for Rick Tockett's squad, and now they'll look away to go up the ice. Soucy now. Pettersson. He'll take a shot. This one gets partially blocked. It'll go right back to him, but there's nobody back on the D-line side. Quinn Hughes had to take a pivot. He'll shoot it in. Baseball-style snag from Vladar from 100, and we'll get a face-off.
You know, for all the late game heroics that Vancouver had last postseason, you would think that one of these guys would tie this up at 5 apiece here. You would think Brock Besser immediately, given that he had a hat trick against Nashville in Game 4. JT Miller, go-ahead goal in Game 5 against Edmonton. And Dakota Joshua tied it up Game 4 against Edmonton in that same series. Now, as Vancouver's going to take a timeout to discuss things over Rick Tocchet, and I fully believe they should, I would want to go over strategies. I would want to go over get someone at the front of the net. You believe JT Miller would be that guy getting at the front of the net because he knows how to score from that area. Same thing for Brock Besser.
Yeah, no, Alec, you make great points, and they're following your advice, my friend. And it's 6 skaters. We got a group of 6 out there because we got an answer to our collective question about when would we see the goaltender Shilovs leave the net. Well, he has left the net, and I think we got 2:28 on the clock. So it took about 2 minutes from when we were discussing it. And of course, now is the time when you get Vladar freezing the puck with the trapper. You're going to get an offensive zone draw. The Canucks are. And they are going over exactly what Alec mentioned. They're going over that strategy. He's got the whiteboard out. And now Vladar and the Flames are going to try to win this thing and neutralize that strategy by getting that puck out of their D zone as quickly as possible.
You know, I felt, again, I will give the Flames full marks as far as this comeback. I felt that the Canucks, I said this during the play-by-play a little bit in a second, that they might have been pacing themselves. Well, right now you can't do that. They got to find some kind of offense here. They've just been non-existent, honestly, for me over the last maybe about almost 36 minutes now. And this is their opportunity. And as Alec mentioned, a deflection in front of the net for JT Miller is probably what they're looking at, the extra attacker. JT wins it now. Here from Quinn Hughes. You got Philip Hronek. Hughes lets it go through the traffic. It's stopped by Vladar. Bounces up in the air to Pettersson. As we'll see what the extension is going to be for the Flames. Try to get this one out. Diving attempt at the blue line. But this can't be corralled. Vancouver still with it now as Garland loses the puck. The Flames successfully get this one down the ice. It's a warbling puck, and we'll see if the ref is going to grant anything here. No, we'll keep moving this time. 1:55 left to go in the third. Vancouver, they lost that lead. They got to try to tie this right now. JT Miller, this one gets flubbed. Flames could send this full sail the ice from 100, and this one bounces. This will go right to Quinn Hughes. Got a successful block in there. Keeps this game still going. Springs out Miller. Scores! What a slap shot!
Unbelievable back and forth, John. And there's always a part of me with this Flames team that worries. I always worry that it might not be as easy as we think it could be. And Miller brings that worry to life. He is that worry personified. The Flames have the opportunity, like you said, from about 100 feet to get that empty net. It's blocked beautifully by none other than Hughes, the captain, and he starts to break out the other way. Ultimately, that cross-ice pass goes to Miller, and from the circle on the near side, the slapper is unmistakable. Full power, full shot, over the glove, and that is top corner. Vladar beaten. What a game we have. Staring at overtime right now. 5-5 with 90 seconds to go.
And it wasn't a net front goal that I was originally predicting with JT Miller. That was a full-on but that goal doesn't happen without the block from Quinn Hughes, who's usually not a defensive type of player. Usually he's the offensive defenseman type. You get an icing here with 127. But usually Quinn Hughes would be an offensive defenseman. But he played defense that time. He blocked a potential empty net goal that would have sealed this game. And JT Miller, with his clutch moments, has knotted this at 5 apiece with a bullet from the left circle.
We have 10 total goals in this game, gentlemen. And I'll say 7 of these are absolutely impossible to save. Would you agree?
I will certainly agree with that. They have been it's been an impressive shooting gallery of a night, that is for sure. Boy, these star players for these teams have really lit up the scoreboard, and we have now a minute to go before overtime descends. But do we have a stoppage? No. The Canucks are slowing things down behind Shilovs right now. They will try to break this thing out and win it in regulation. 55 on the clock, John. You got it.
5-5 game with 55 seconds left. It's wild everywhere at Rogers right now. What a game this has been between these two. I almost don't want it to end. We'll see if we can get to OT. Give both teams a point here. We'll see what the Flames can do off this rush. Coleman gets knocked away from him. Backlund's got to get back on his horse. Find entry now. Fake the slapper there. Bluger gets partially blocked. Works him behind the cage of Vladar. Here's Connor Garland off the spin and turn. Got to be careful that Backlund doesn't get caught for a hook. Garland's still with it. Here's an opportunity now for Connor Zary. Zary will just send this one down the ice. 17 seconds left to go. It's 5-5. Is this one sent in now? MacKenzie Weegar. 10 seconds left to go in the third. One more chance to take it left to right. MacKenzie Weegar. Here's a pass. Huberdeau between his skate blades. This will bounce to Shilov's. Got to shoot it. And that ends the third period, but it doesn't end the game just yet. 5-5. We go to OT.
It's a classic. We got a puck drop classic. What a way to start this NHL season, for me at least, as a Flames fan. I know you boys have already gotten some work under your belts. I'm not surprised by that. But my word, 5-5, 10 goals total, and it goes to overtime. Alec, you called it. You spoke it into existence. You said, I need to see one of those stars for the Canucks step up. You got exactly that. So maybe give me your thoughts on what the Flames might do here in overtime. You might have the magic tongue tonight.
Well, I haven't watched Calgary too much, but what for Calgary was want to do, their first goal was a wrist shot from the point from MacKenzie Weegar, one of those goals. Perhaps a wrist shot from the point could be one of those magic touches, make it free, perhaps. But Jonathan Huberdeau on the net front, if that were to not ring out to perfection for Calgary, then there's the backup plan. Net front. Get one of the more physical guys to do the dirty job up the front.
I love it. John, I know we're about to start here. What do you think? I want you to keep rolling if you're willing to. Are you expecting anything here? Do you have a prediction, or we want to just let the excitement unfold?
I'm going to go overtime predictions. I'm going to end on Calgary, but I'm going to take the easy one here for Vancouver. I'm going to go Quinn Hughes. I think he's due. And we've seen it a few times in overtime when you and I called some of these games, Cooper. I think Nazem Kadri's got the lucky mitts. We've seen him do it before. I'm going to go with Nazem.
Okay, I'm going to match you on one. I'm going to switch it up on the other. I'm going to say that we got Hughes. I know that seems like the easy one, but he's just got too much skill to ignore. But you know what? I'm going back all the way, full circle. I'm saying big old number 4, Rasmus Andersson. If it's going to be the Flames, I think Andersson gets his second and he closes it out.
I like it.
For me, I want to throw a curveball on this. I want to go with Vancouver. Soon is making his debut with the team. Jake DeBrusk. That's his first as a Canuck for the winner for them. As for Calgary, I may want to go with a popular pick around. Big Nazem Kadri. I like that selection as well to get his third point and the winner.
Gentlemen, I think we're around it here. I think one of us is going to get it.
The predictions are in. Kuzmenko's on the ice right now, and Flames do have possession, but Kuzmenko fighting all by himself. Now Weegar has the puck. He fires, and there's a save right there by the right pad. That could have been the whole enchilada right there, but a good stop by Shilovs. Now a bit of a pass. Oh, now Kadri is smashed against the glass. He gets right back up, but it's a 2-on-1 the other way, boys. And here comes the shot, and that one is off a body. I don't know if it got to Vladar, but it goes up and out of play. My goodness, how did Kadri get up after that hit?
Yeah, I don't know how he popped up back immediately, but I'm glad he did because he got absolutely blasted near the right side boards. That collision was heavy and it shook the glass.
That looked like a car crash, John and Cooper. That looked like a car crash on a big hit. MacKenzie Weegar? Nope, not in his face, but that 2-on-1. as Weegar the other direction. Well, he wasn't going to catch an offensive week. Well, here's a defensive play. Full extension of his right leg to block that shot, and it goes over to the safety netting.
Yep, and now Huberdeau comes away with it, and Backlund. John, go ahead and take it here.
Backlund takes it. Good face-off win here. Try to get this cross pass. They're onside on this 3-on-3 in Calgary. Trying to make something happen. Shot board is even. The scoreboard is even. It's 5-5 at Rogers between Calgary and Vancouver and the opener. And this has been an excellent game. Backlund still with the skates. He leaves it now for Huberdeau. Lost it in between his. He'll pick it back up now across the right side wall. Huberdeau still trying to find some lanes as everybody works to get onside. Here is Backlund. Keeping that puck matriculating right now. No particular hurry here as Rasmus Andersson will start it. And across his own, he'll take a change. Here's Connor Zary. He's got a ton of speed in those young legs. Zary, wrister. This one goes wide and near the right side glass. This will go all the way back down where Dan Vladar is. And the Flames can take their change alongside Ryan Huska's squad. 3:35 if we need it in this OT, if not a shootout. Zary has it. Backhand move. Scores! Connor Zary with a highlight reel. And the Flames win 6-5.
Good night, Calgary. Good night. 6-5. What an unbelievable win right there. This was an absolutely unforgettable night, boys. It's a Flames win in overtime. Connor Zary, the youngster, makes it happen for the W. Unreal. He just pulled out the entire Vancouver defense for the OT winner, and all of Calgary is celebrating a big come-from-behind victory. It was 4-1. But the Flames find a way. And I'm not alluding to that Flames team from a decade ago that keeps pulling out comeback win after comeback win, but this feels reminiscent. Let's bring you to a throwback. Zary burst by Elias Pettersson. He can bring the speed. However, that first shot missed. But if at first you don't succeed, you always try again. Zary waits patiently, then fakes out Philip Marone and goes backhand on him, and then Artur Sheelops, who is a steady first-string goaltender usually, Zary fakes him out too, adjusting to the forehand past him. Absolute stunner here at Vancouver.
You said it, Alec Nava. It is a stunner, and Zary looks like a veteran with the mitts, and he puts it home for the winner. But I do want to shine a spotlight for a moment on Martin Pospisil, driving the net as fast as he could, pulling the defense deep, giving Zary time, distracting the man who was on him, and allowing Zary just enough room to make that move. And my goodness, gentlemen, that is one I'm not going to forget anytime soon. Alec, I'm so glad you joined. And John, hey, I'm giving credit to myself because I put you back on the call, and it was exactly the right thing to do. I wanted to hear a classic John Ott game-winning call, and I got exactly what I needed.
Hey, that was like 10 out of 10 on the voice register, and I think that was apropos. That was a superstar move by Mr. Connor Zary.
That looked McDavid-esque.
You said it. You said it. That was what a game. First of all, what a game. What a turnaround. Neither of John, when it was just you and I on the call, neither of us could have predicted that was what we were going to see. We just wanted to see a little bit of life, a little bit of jump, some of the fundamentals from the Flames, and they put it all together, minute after minute, shift by shift by shift. An incredible goal-scoring prowess, and credit to the Canucks as well. Alec, you mentioned it. I mean, we saw real skill tonight. What a start to this NHL season across the schedule. We've had upsets, we've had shutouts, we've had amazing goals, defense, saves. It's back, boys. Hockey is here, and we're having some fun already.
That was one of the coolest openers I think I've ever seen. Again, from 4-1, we didn't expect all this to happen, but the Calgary Flames, they keep everything else clean. They win 6-5, and I think there's going to be a lot of good feelings heading into Saturday.
A lot.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, listen, what is on the docket for you guys? John, we talked about this. I feel like we're bouncing. It's that time of year. We got baseball. We got hockey. Who's calling what? What's up next?
Alec, what do you got?
You think about the Yankees and Royals tomorrow night at Kauffman for Game 4 of that series. Friday, is about to go down. All California NLDS Game 5 on the docket. Grab your popcorn, grab your concessions, hey, even grab some dinner while you're at it. It's going down at Dodger Stadium, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
So he's got baseball covered, and so do I. Selfishly, I got to cover my own team with the Tigers. Probably take a break on Friday. If we need Saturday, I'll do so. But if not, I want to see Steven Stamkos in Nashville against the Red Wings. So that's on my schedule. I know Cooper and I will talk more soon. Get everything squared away. I'm excited. We're a month away from a brand new destination.
You're absolutely right, and John, we'll talk more about it. Ticket purchase will be completed this evening. I got them all lined up. We'll get those details ironed out, and man, oh man, I did not expect. I mean, hey, I was excited. I was excited for hockey. I did not expect to have what could be one of the games of the season in Game 1. And it was a fantastic one. I'm glad you guys were along for the ride and that we could all do this. Thanks for jumping in, Alec.
You guys take care, okay?
Hey, no problem, Cooper.
You got it. All right, we'll do this again soon. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
All right, adios.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you joined in on that one alongside Cooper Hopkins and myself, that was absolutely fantastic in between Connor Zary. Again, it was 4-1 Vancouver after one, but the Flames just continue to be unrelenting. They did not give up in this game. Offense back and forth. I had Cooper Hopkins with me for the third straight year in a Flames home opener, and Connor Zary in night number one might have scored one of the best Flames goals all season. Flames take this one 6-5. I will see you tomorrow for ALCS Game 4 between the Guardians and the Tigers. If things go south and we need a Game 5, we can flip through, but that is my schedule for tomorrow. I did plan on covering the Red Wings on Saturday, but if it goes to Game 5, then we'll have to make some adjustments there. So we'll talk very soon. Peace, everybody.